Semtex, shorty blitzing, money.
Up in this mother lover. What's going on, bitches and bitchettes? What's going on, mother lovers? How you lot feeling out there? Back again. It's another Wednesday night. So you're with us. You're damn right. Myself, MysDiggi. My co-host, Dad DNA. What's going on, bruv?
Good, yeah.
It's some shit you might not never know nothing about, brothers and sisters. And whoever else is listening, whatever you class yourself as, it's all up to you. You know what I mean? Man or woman, wherever you feel like today, you know what I mean? It's all on you. But yeah, man, good to be back, man. Been a the week has gone mad quick, man. I've been working pretty hard in the laboratory, you know, concocting some new...
alchemizing.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know what I mean, conjure up some new forms of influencers.
Yeah.
So people could catch that. So yeah, man. Soon come though, soon come. I'm looking forward to, you know, I think like it'll be good to be able to do a little pre-party for one of the projects on here. Do you know what I mean? So people could come and listen.
Yeah, just for our internet crowd.
Exactly, man. Exactly for the internet crowd. Shout out to Brian Boss. Shout out to Black Einstein, Kenny Rebel. Yamar, what's going on? What's going on? PLK in the building. Good to see you, mother lovers, man. We got a special guest coming up tonight. You know what I mean? We got to do a part 2 with this brother, man, because, you know, we barely touched the surface, I feel like.
Yeah.
The other week. So, yeah, man. Brian Boss is asking, what happened to Super T? Shout out to Oshi. What's going on, big bro? Oshi Okomilo in the building. Yes, bruv. Yes, this guy, Oshi, he took me on my first ever trip. Was it my first? No, it wasn't my first ever trip, like, gigging, but it was my first trip, like, yo, this is what the life you could be living type thing. We went to Miami. Like, he put together a project with a bunch of like different rappers from across the country. You know, some of the Out the Ville crew, Reveal, Messiah, Intense, you know, a bunch of different rappers, and put an EP together. And it's a really good idea he had was, because, you know, they used to do the winter, well, I think they still do it. Well, I don't know now, actually. But the winter conference, winter music conference in Miami. Yeah. And his idea was like, I want to bring UK hip hop to this conference. Like, this is something new that you need to, and it was a really good idea, concept and that. And so, yeah, he took a bunch of us, we all got to record a bunch of stuff. First of all, he got the project together, and then he flew us out there, man. Like, a few of us got to go out to Miami and live that life, baby. Yeah, boy, it's wicked, man. So yeah, that's actually where the story comes from about me first ever learning about email. You know, and yeah, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? And I was like, right, how much is it for a Hotmail? Like, how much is it for email? To Messiah. And he's like, bruv, it's free, man. What are you talking about? That's when I made the transition. It was then that I made the transition to the internet.
Never looked back.
I never looked back. No. You know what I mean? Smartphone.
You're sending up to 5 Hotmails a day now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All for free as well. Yeah. They're all free. Bruv, emails are sick, man. They're free, you know. Like, you just type it and you press send and like someone else gets it for free, like. Yeah. Man, good times, man. That was good times. So shout out to Oshi. But yeah, back to Brian Boss, man, asking this question. If he's still there, what happened to Super T? I'd really love to know what happened to Super T, to be honest. Because that guy, really talented guy, man, for people who don't know. Rapper, also producer, Super T. He had a style that was definitely his own. And, you know, I think he set a trend, man. I think he set a trend early, you know, definitely from sort of 97 into 98. He worked with Champions of Nature, which was Lewis Parker, Jest, and a bunch of other, like, sick artists as well, AM. And, you know what I mean? I think it's just one of them things that maybe he, he kind of just lost the love for the scene or the music maybe, and wanted to move on. I mean, he was still producing stuff from when I last spoke to him, but that was quite a long time ago. So
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure, man, but it'd be lovely to catch up with that guy, man. Super T, friggin' legend, boy, definitely. But yeah, man, we still got legends out here, still putting in that work, so we got to celebrate them, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Black Twang, you know what I mean? We've been putting it down for years. Shout out to Shawnee T, shout out to Scheme, Big P, Carl Hines. Shout out to Farmer G, man. We spoke to Farmer G a while ago, man. He's doing really well, putting out a lot of different projects with various artists, still spitting as well. Like, what I forgot to chat to him about that, because I remember he was saying he's done with rapping, but it was good to hear that he's back on it. Like he did a project with Leaf Dog, which I thought was really interesting, because I always feel like Leaf Dog is of that tree. He's of the sort of Farmer G style and all that. And so yeah, man, it's good to hear Farms is back rocking on the mic. Shout out to Chester P. Shout out to Kashmir. I got to get Kashmir on here, man. We need to chat to Kashmir on here for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to Parky. You know what I mean? Scorsese. Like, there's a lot of MCs out there still doing it, still out here. Joker Star. You know what I mean? The bad thing is I'm probably gonna miss out names.
Yeah.
But, it's
There's
like,
no intentional.
No, man.
Didn't miss out anyone on purpose.
No, man. No. Shout out to the big bro. Ty, rest in peace, man. Legend out there.
Yeah.
Gonna be missed for sure. Shout out to Rodney P. Shout out to Bionic. You know what I mean? There's so many, man. Like, there's people out here still doing a lot, man. Your ma said, yeah, get Cash now. We definitely got to get Cashmere, because he's an interesting guy, man. He's an interesting guy. Shout out to Ramson Bad Bones. Yeah, man. Shout out to Kalashnikov, Kaiser. Jeez. Man. Scribbler. Fucking hell, man. Shout out to Rick Hazard in the building. Yeah, it's boy, man. It's sad because, like, there's so many names you can reel off, and you're like, yo, these people should be known by a bunch of heads. Like, there should be bare people talking about them and celebrating them left, right, and center. For like laying a foundation, for the rest of us to be able to make something of this. But UK hip hop.
Is that the Rick Hazard? Is that Rick Hazard from Bristol?
Oh, is that Rick Hazard from Bristol?
Rick Hazard. Is that Rick Hazard from Bristol?
That's like a SOS. You're sending out an SOS for
Rick Hazard.
Rick Hazard from Bristol. Yeah, man. Man, yeah, just asking about Super T just brought back some memories, man. Really cool guy, man. Really just down to earth. Serious.
The one and only.
He's a joker. Right, here's Rick Hazard from Bristol.
Good evening, Rick Hazard. Been some time.
From Birmingham, yeah?
From Bristol.
From Bristol.
Yeah, you done a show with his band.
Yeah,
Bristol,
Yes, man. Shout out to Rick Hazard, man. Rick. That's crazy. Yo. Yeah, it's good to see people up in here, boy.
Yeah.
Some shit you might not never know nothing about. That's right. What we got? So I believe we got some... there's some gigs coming up, but these are all abroad so far, all for next year. Basically with Smokey Joe and the Kid. And, which leads me to... I need to let people know that the War Is Over album is going to be out this Friday from a band that I work with called Smokey Joe and the Kid. It's, they're a collective from Bordeaux. So, we drink fine wines. Whenever I go and see them, I'm always drinking fine wine.
Eat sausage.
Right, but even the shit from, like, you would go to their version of, like, Tesco's or whatever. It's called Coffee. And, like, bam. You know what I mean? Like, wine, it's leaking from there. There's all kind of, you look at the thing, you're like, right. And, like, if you go... You know what I mean? To any shop or supermarket around here, like, all the expensive shit is on a certain shelf, innit?
Yeah.
Like, the cheaper shit, the shit where you're like £3, £4, £5. Like, I might go £6, you know what I mean? Or, like, I feel like splashing out. I might get the one that's reduced to £6, the special offer £6 one, you know what I mean? Over there, bruv, the £3 one, you'd be like, rah. One for €3-4. You'd be like, yo, it's organic. Yo, this shit, like, it's cork. There ain't no screw tops, bro.
No, of course
they
not.
ain't dealing with no screw
Wow,
tops
no,
out there.
Of course not.
So, you know what I mean? When I was like Smokey Joe, the kid, I used to give me fine wines, you know? And
That's the album there on Bandcamp.
Yep.
War is Over.
You can,
26th of November.
Pre-order that. You know what I mean? It's out this Friday on Banzai Lab Records. It's got a string of features. The duo are crazy producers, man. They're crazy.
They're doing it on vinyl as well.
Yep, it's on vinyl, CD, stream.
And it's got who else is on there then?
Oh, you got R.A. the Rugged
Man.
You got Pavan from Foreign Beggars.
Right.
You got Illaman. Yoshi the Original. You got Non-Genetic. You know what I mean? You got C.W. Jones from UK. He's from Bristol.
Yeah.
I think he's from Bristol.
Udema.
Yeah. Udema. You got MysDiggi.
Blake Worrell.
You know what I mean?
Blackout Jar.
Yeah. Oh, Blackout J.A. Yep.
Oh, J.A.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, see it there. Your bar knows it's a heavy list. Telling you, man. Yeah. And them, like, when it comes to the production, they're sickos, man. They're crazy. So I'm looking forward to getting down with them next year on the tour. The War is Over tour. We're going to be launching on the 27th of January in Bordeaux at La Rocha de Palma. Right, I said that with a Spanish accent, man. It's meant to be...
You're near enough. You're only about 50
Rochelle.
miles away.
La Rocha Palma. Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? I can speak French as well. Normalement, la boulangerie vend du pain. Drops mic. Real shit, man. I kill it. Yeah, man. And on the 28th, we'll be in Paris at Trabendo. Then on the 29th of January, Sanois, EMB, wherever that is. I don't know where that is. And there's we should be going to Guadeloupe in February, Lyon in March, La Poussée at L'Oréal. Yeah, boy. Yo, I feel like I feel French when I do
Back
it.
there.
It's with the R. As
Taste
soon as
the
you go,
wine.
yeah,
It's the R. It's in
R.
Italian and French, a different R. But if you get the R right, you're there.
Yeah, you got to go to the back of your shit to get that R, boy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yo, yeah, the French is hard to learn though, man. And then there's a string of other dates as well. But once they get them all confirmed and cleared up, then we'll start reading them off. We're also going to be in the Chip Shop in December. But yeah, when we chat to our next special guest, we can get into that anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Also, you got the Ramson Bad Bones Lead by Example LP out there. Make sure you cop that. You have.
Is that this one?
Yep. That's it right there.
All right.
That's it right there. You know what I'm saying? That's that shit right there. You've also got the Cruise Control single, Mr. Doris and D-Funk, featuring myself, MysDiggi. And that's out there. You can check the video as well, man.
And that Nightmares on Wax remix.
Yeah, Nightmares on Wax. Yo, Nightmares on Wax. That's some old school, you know what I mean? Like,
It's good. It's lucky.
Yeah. It's probably like, he said, yeah, there's a Nightmares on Wax remix. I was like, right, Nightmares on Wax. And then it just took me back. And I was like, yo, that's an old school name, boy.
I remember seeing that name on posters.
Yeah. Like,
around the Hammersmith, near the Hammersmith Apollo.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it on the posters on the one-way system.
It just makes me think of like that era.
Yeah.
Whatever was it? Happy Hardcore, Happy House?
I don't know. They're probably like a bit more like sort of acidy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Acid. Yeah. Acid House. What am I talking about?
Yeah, probably like an acid house.
Acid house.
Thing, yeah.
Jeez, all these genres, man.
Yeah.
Why do you think people come up with, like, why do they have to name it something and say this is this, and then now we have this crowd? Like,
Because Yeah, if you just went to a classical music show and it was actually acid house, you'd probably be a bit pissed off. You got
But I mean, well, what I mean is like, okay, you've got a genre of music, but then so say like you got house music, but then they'll be like, yeah, this is acid house,
Tech
this
house.
is tech house, this is, you know, deep
Yeah.
house, this is
house and
shallow
garage.
house. Like, yeah. But I guess now you're right. It needs a name for you to differentiate and go. But I get baffled when it's house music. Like someone the other day was like, yo, you into dubstep, yeah? And I was like, look, I like dubstep, but I'll be honest, when I'm at a jam, after about 20, 30 minutes, you know what I mean? It starts to sound the same to me.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm not listening to it deep enough, but that's what happens. And then it's the
There's
same
time
with
and a
like,
place for them, that sort of thing, isn't there?
yeah, I guess, yeah, there's a time and a place as well.
We've enjoyed dubstep in
Like-
the right when you're in the right frame of mind.
Yeah,
and
after
on an
party.
island and you're.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
do you know what I mean? If someone puts it on at the right time and place, but the whole night of it is a bit overbearing.
yeah. So I know, you know, and each to his own. I'm sure
Yeah,
that
yeah,
people listen to like the music.
If I was a lot younger,
same
I
thing.
probably would have loved to go to just a dubstep night.
Yeah,
years
they look
ago.
like they're really enjoying themselves. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm sure.
they've all got a smile on their face.
Yeah.
And their eyes are all big, so they're obviously enjoying it.
Bare subgenres, boy. See, your mom knows it's bare subgenres. So I get a bit confused as to which is what, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then the other thing about naming the shit is as well is like when they start messing up. You know, like when it's like, right, this is the hip hop charts, and then and then there'll be like a Celine Dion tune in there or something. No, I'm exaggerating. But there'll be like an R&B tune in. You'd be like, right, why are you saying this is hip hop? Someone must have said something because then they're like, nah, R&B and hip hop charts. You know what I mean? But that shit used to baffle me, man. Yeah, Jungle, see, Kenny Rebel's right. Jungle is one where they just went off on the whole. Now there's sub-genres.
Yeah.
Liquid, lion-hearted, sword. You know what I mean? It's just all kind of levels.
Yeah.
Was it Jump Up? You got Jump Up? POK, the eyes. That's the acid house. The acid house eyes. Boy. That's the acid house eyes. Yo, people get pinged up in them places, boy. You're just like, fuck, you know, left, right, center, yo. Oh, excuse me, mate. Yeah. You're like, no, get the fuck out of my face. Get the froth out of my face, man. Frothed up, boy. Just bare frothage in there. Like, yeah, people must miss that, man. Getting out proper raving. Are the clubs back open now, proper?
I think so, yeah.
Mm.
You might have to do a bit of jiggery pokery to get in there. Show your passport or show your your status.
The yellow star.
Show your yellow star.
There, you see the shit about Austria
Yeah.
getting a bit rampant out there.
Yeah.
They're telling like the unvies, you lot have to stay in the yard while
Yeah.
the rest of us go
It's the
out
least
there.
vaccinated country in Europe, I think, isn't it? Austria.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why they said that.
That's right.
That's
what
why
it's
it kicked
about.
off like that as well then. Because everyone's like, what? Like, bruv.
Yeah.
If people knew that, they'd be pissed. They'd be like, right, they ain't even fucking, what the hell?
Because they're quite into their freedom still, you know. They are, you know, they're as a country. I think the people in Austria are sort of like, you know, a bit more like we don't really like a lot of interference from the outside.
Mm.
So they probably, when they said you got all get vaxxed up, they was like, no, we'll just go if we want to go.
Yeah.
But they're obviously trying to impose it on them.
Wow. Yeah, so it kicked off there, but it looked like, you know what I mean? What they said now is everybody's locked down.
Yeah.
They're like, they're not discriminating.
Yeah.
But you all got to be locked down. And people are like, yeah, that we were everybody anyway. Like, everybody. Like, we're the least quacked up.
Yeah.
So it's majority
Yeah,
of
it's
us
majority
anyway.
of us anyway, yeah.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
if people knew that, man, they'll be like, "Wow, I wish I waited." There's a bunch of people now that probably be like, "Yeah, I should have waited," because look, they waited, and look now, like you can see they're still not having it.
Yeah.
Like these people, you think they've got enough, like whoever NATO, whatever army they. To
Well, and
hold
also
down everyone.
in Austria now, the police and the military have both said they're not going along with it.
Yeah,
so they're not
they
going to be
sided.
enforcing it.
Yeah, they sided with the people.
So who's going to enforce it? The politicians go around your house and try and get you to take the vax.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to have to send the UN in.
But then who are the UN? You know, like what? Who are like their special forces? Like who are they?
They have like those peacekeeping forces that are made up of all the different nations. So, you know, so it'd be like France and England and America.
What are they called? Like blue hats or something?
Yeah, like blue vests or something like that. Yeah.
Blue scarf.
So they'll have to send them in and get them to go around and peacefully vaccinate the population.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was saying, blue berets. That's it. Peacekeepers.
Yeah. They kept the peace in Serbia when they bombed Christians.
Yeah. There's a good. I can't remember who was talking about it, but the idea of peace. Like if you're saying that there's peace, that means there's a sense of war.
Mm.
So whenever they're like, oh yeah, peacekeeping, it's like they're kind of implying that there's already a war going on.
If they said there's been a rise in peace, what would you think? What would there have been before that?
Yeah.
The rise in war.
Yeah. So there was more war before.
Yeah.
Now
Suddenly peace has broken out. Why? What was going on before?
Yeah. That's what it's meant to be anyway, but they've made it because people kill and war. So you're lucky now that it's all right. Like okay now. But do you remember when
before the peace broke out? Remember what was going on before the peace broke out? Here's
a day. That's the shit, man. You want people to remember something and feel like it's factual, 100%. Give them a day. Make them celebrate. Give them a whole 24 hours.
But PLK's saying it's against the Geneva Convention to aim at peacekeepers.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently so.
It's against the Geneva Convention to aim at peacekeepers. Wow. So what can you do then? You can't do nothing.
Put up with it, I suppose. Yeah, we're here to keep peace. That's what they do. Come in with guns. Do they not have guns? I suppose they do have guns. Is it against the Geneva Convention for them to aim at you? I suppose if they're keeping the peace, they're gonna have to point a gun at somebody to keep peace, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite interesting when you think about how they flip it like that.
Yeah,
and then there's obviously a pattern with that. It's like make you believe you need it, and unknowingly. It's the last thing you want. It's
the last thing you need.
Yeah.
Nobody wants those blue
beautiful
berets.
Way of, not to say that it is beautiful, but a beautiful way of manipulating the mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they'll come and keep the peace. Okay, I feel safe. We need someone to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So as long as I can keep you thinking that there's a possible threat to you or your family or everyone around you or in some form of way, and especially on a, if not national, then a worldwide level, then you're going to be looking for help.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say, a while ago, was that the idea of even being governed by some form of body, some corporation, some person, is like saying, oh, I need you to father me. I need you to look after me. I need you to nanny me. That's the nanny state, isn't it?
Yeah.
Madness. Yeah. Let's get our guest on, man. Because
he probably could have had a talk about this as well.
Oh, definitely, man. The brother, none other, representing the People's Army. Do you know what I mean? A lot of knowledge. This guy's been on this from day one. He's already been locked into a lot of reality in the world from a long time ago, and I don't think people even really knew, because he's quite a quiet guy, you know what I mean? Crazy ass DJ, hard working mother lover. We had him on a couple weeks ago, and we said, yeah, it's time to do a part 2, man. So really appreciate him, you know what I mean, putting in the time and taking some time to chat with us. None other than our brother, DJ Snuff. What's going on? What's going on, King? Yo, you good?
Everything's cool and gravy, bro, man. I've been
Yes.
listening to you guys chat for a little bit. Like, I hear you do a little roll call of the whole UK hip hop history.
Yeah, I was trying to, you know what I mean? There's some names, man. Who else? Who else? There's some names that people need to remember. And if you don't even remember, like, know about, do you know what I mean? That need to be celebrated in the UK. And it's a shame that, big up Skinny Man. I forgot to mention Skinny Man. Jeez. Jest.
You can't mention everybody, bro. The scene
Yeah,
is
there's
much
so many
bigger
people,
than
man.
real life, you know?
Fire Life Cypher, big up to Life MC, man. You know what I mean?
Prayers
Get
of
well
life right
soon.
now. He's in hospital right now. You know?
Yeah, I heard, man. I heard. Let's send some prayers, send some love to Life MC. He's currently in hospital at the moment, recovering from illness. Yeah, man. And, you know, heart's with him, man, definitely. And his family. Big up to MCD, yo. Oh, she's not playing around. MCD, man. That guy, he gave me the inspiration to, I was like, oh, I hear somebody that talks the same way I do, and he's rapping the same way that he talks. And I can
And I
hear
don't feel no
everything.
MC.
Yeah,
Like, I feel MC.
MCD, yeah. I'm hearing him
Running
like,
deep
yo,
around.
this guy, it was a Silent Eclipse tape. And we just used to listen and listen and listen. I was just like, man, you know, that is one of them gems. And that was before I got ill.
That sounded so dope, man. Do you know who else is in that I would play back to back with the likes of Silent Eclipse on the set would be Black Radical.
Oh, Black Radical.
A lot of people don't know Black Radical too much, but you check out 2 albums by that guy.
Yeah.
That was like the same time as Silent Eclipse and all those
Yeah.
Genesis period
Mm.
UK rap groups, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. You know, like the scene.
I still roll with a lot of the original dons as well, you know, like even though it's not strictly hip hop that we do, but in the jungle dance, you know, I'm still rolling with Rebel, and which we chatted about that last time, innit?
Yeah, of course.
You know? So in our set, we're going to have Daddy Freddy on stage with us.
Wow. Daddy Freddy.
You know, obviously, Tenafly, rest in peace, you know. Miss our brother Tenafly.
Yeah,
like,
man.
that's also like early ragamuffin hip hop schoolage right there, you know. You know, you're looking at the you know, the Ragged Twins I'm DJing for now as well, and they've been, how long have they been doing what they do?
Oh, 89 probably.
Bruv.
You know what I'm talking
Ragged
about?
Twins, they're
Yeah.
Right, that's like the era
Gotta
when
be
people talk
89,
about
I remember.
when
that,
people
yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
the remix thing.
Yeah.
You know, what they
Oh, Nightmares on Wax.
Nightmares on Wax,
All right,
yeah. That's that era,
£10
isn't it?
to
Let's
get
chat
it.
about Nightmares and Wax. You know, Nightmares and Wax aren't really acid house, bro.
No, what were they?
No, but that's what it makes me think of, because the
Right.
people that I knew then, they were older than me, and they were that kind of raver lot that would go to either acid house, but they used to talk
Nightmares and
about...
Wax wouldn't be played at the rave. That would be played at the after party when everyone's coming down, you know, because like what the style of music Nightmares and Wax was doing was the smokers, the acid.
Oh.
You know? It got put into the terminology of trip hop.
Right.
Oh,
You know?
right. See, I didn't know. That's what...
Low wax, Ninja Tune, early like or late 90s style of what was being called trip hop, you know, which I always preferred to call like just instrumental hip hop, but like dubbed out and blunted, you know. Because trip hop, even the term trip hop is a mad one, you know what I mean? One minute it sounds like what I loved about it, and then the next thing it got all electronic and so on. And I was confused about what is defined as trip hop, you know? Because for me originally it was like the likes of DJ Crush, you know, real bass heavy, brooding, out beat, you know.
Yeah,
very much similar to the likes of beats that you were hearing on like Mobb Deep's Hell on Earth and Infamous and so on, you know, to take the MCs off. You know, it's just bass, you know?
You know what that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's something. I thought you lot was gonna join in, but that didn't obviously that didn't work out.
We're just waiting for you to
It didn't work
finish.
out the way that I wanted it to. I thought you could feel the vibe, man. I thought,
What?
Snuff, man. I thought you could feel the energy. You know, the digital through. You could feel somehow. I could. Yeah. All right. Let's move on anyway.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 moment.
See, yeah, Ma said Nightmares on Wax always did the remixes of dance tracks, from what she remembers.
Yeah, but it would have been always. It'd always be the Smokers mix, innit?
Ah, the blazed out mix. That's we got pretty blazed out mix. Yeah. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? Man works with like legends, you get me? Because the whole thing was like, I knew the name, but I just didn't, like, I knew I should be excited, but I couldn't remember, why do I remember it? And I was like, yo, it wasn't that Acid House shit? Like,
I remember it from around that time,
Now you've made a bit more sense about it anyway.
Was it all instrumental stuff? Was they just instrumental then? Or what was their...
It's mainly instrumental, but they use like vocal samples and then have the occasional singer as well, you know. And then they had a live band show. I remember there was a guy called DJ Ease with them. And, but they had an encore, Smokers Deluxe. It's dope. I used to enjoy that one. Early days of like the likes of the Herbalizer and all that type of vibe.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Scene, you know.
It's mad, man. Like, you know, with this shit, like the stuff that you get up to, the stuff that you end up being part of and whatnot, it's crazy, man. Do you know what I mean? Something like that obviously that name has made an impact from when I was, you know what I mean, probably like 11, like 10, 11 or something. And I used to hear the Nightmares on Wax. Like, you know, they always be talking about, be like, oh, that's a weird name, like Nightmare. Is that like, you know, is it scary? Is it? I used to think it was like something, yeah. And then years later, now they're like, yeah, we got Nightmares on Wax.
Nothing to be scared of.
I don't want to hear it. I'm in the corner, like looking at the CD, like, yeah, the vinyl, like, oh man, just shivering, thinking traumatic period in my life. Little do they know, bitches and bitchettes. Yo, so Snuff, man, wanted to catch up with you again, my bro, because the last chat was definitely stimulating, man. And I felt like, we were both talking about there was more info there that we didn't even touch upon.
Well, I'll just freestyle, and I haven't come here prepared with anything, any topic-wise, you know. I'm just here to respond to whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Even the last time I was just off the top of the head, and I ain't watched back anything, you know, because I make myself cringe, so...
Yeah, I'm quite... You know what? It's weird. The whole thing about watching yourself back in it is weird. I've had to do that, and it's like, right, you kind of don't want to... You don't want to hear yourself again, because all the... Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm always saying, what do I always say? I say, do you know what I mean? Or something like that. You know. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I know what you mean. The thing is I just felt like, there's stuff we spoke about after and even before all of that, where I'm like, right, we haven't even touched on them bits. But I was talking to someone about a week ago, and they were talking to me about how they feel like, you know, the whole thing of getting ill is to do with frequencies. So, you know, the frequency of something that you eat perhaps could be, you know, a bad frequency, and then now you're absorbing that, and that messes with your frequencies. And I was saying, you know, so they were saying like, everyone's kind of getting this frequency at the moment. That's why they're losing their taste or losing their smell or whatever, and it's very similar. You know, from my point of view, I feel like we all react to things in a similar way. It might be slightly different, you know, for some people, and that depends on your load, like your amount of toxins you're loaded with. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, it might be like, you know, whatever it is, you know, secreting more mucus, or, you know, you're more susceptible to like lung, you know, infection or whatever. And then I wanted to talk about the idea of pleomorphism. Was it pleomorphism to them? So I remember ages ago you were already saying that, you've been working on an idea for a book to do.
Yeah, I was writing a book. Well, I am writing a book. Right now it's pages and pages and pages of bullet points, you know, so it's not actually in a structured way really right now, you know.
Yeah, that's how it starts, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I just want to make sure the information is there and I've got the references to back everything up. I'm saying anything because, you know. But the book is basically on the history of medical malpractice and fraud, and I've titled it, the working title is the Cinchona missions, because I'm starting with like an exhibition that the Jesuits did in Central America to get their hands on this tree, from which the bark they used for the quinine.
Quinine.
And quinine, quinine. That's being talked about right now with the hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
Which is a synthetic version with a hydroxyl group on it. But the original from the plant would be from the cinchona tree. It's in other plants and other sources, but it was
grapefruit and all that.
It was spotted in this tree because, like, the Jesuit missionaries were noticing that the Mandem in Peru were using it to alleviate shingles and things like that, and it was a great anti-parasite thing as well, so they could use it in case of malaria, and that's really why they wanted to get their hands on it, because they couldn't venture forward with colonialism in Africa without getting their hands on the cinchona bark, which is what they would have referred to it as for the first long amount of time before they did the first extraction or isolating the quinine. That came later, and it was one of the very first things that became a pharmaceutical product, which is why, like, I'm basing the history of medical malpractice and fraud on this expedition, and it ties in with colonial pursuits, and it's the same families you would expect to be mentioned, the Rockefeller, Rothschild, banking, petrol, dollar, petroleum, telecommunications, puppet masters,
Yeah, the same old.
Because they found a way, rather than just isolating the quinine from the cinchona bark, they learned how to synthesize it from the petrochemical in the first place. And that's how they started the whole industry of petrochemical pharmaceuticals. And with that, the demonization of anything that we've been doing since the dawn of time, which is dealing with what we call naturopathic medicine now, which is just herbs for the healing, right? Yeah, and what you just mentioned about frequency is it's not unplausible. It might seem a bit wah-wah to someone who doesn't really understand that everything has a vibrational principle. Each mineral has a different vibration, different way of absorbing and emitting radiation. Everything in the body is working in a kind of harmonious way, without us really trying too hard to do that, because that's the glory of nature in life, is that, this design is flawless until we start.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like we don't actually do like the healing. It's the body is, The body's just always trying to keep homeostasis.
Homeostasis, yeah, and we're basically just meant to aid it. So, for instance, if you get a fever, people, the old wives' tale to do is, get a cold towel, and then pat them down and try and cool them down, cool that. But you're meant to actually aid that. The body's heating up for a reason, and you're meant to aid that, and it'll actually go quicker. People end up ill for like 3-4 days, maybe 5 days even, because they're suppressing what is meant to just happen naturally. This is your body actually doing the work it's supposed to do.
It's boiling out like a parasite or something, or whatever the irritant is, because I just break it all down to irritants. It could be some sort of pathogen, a metal, a toxin, whatever it is, but something is causing an irritant to the body, and then you get an inflammation response, and then if you don't deal with it, you're going to have some sort of chronic inflammation situation ongoing. So you want to deal with the cause of the inflammation as well as bringing inflammation down. And a fever is one of the ways that your body just has a natural defense way of doing it. And it doesn't always work, because some things that may be irritating you may be resistant to that heat, It might dead you off before it deads off the pathogen.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to be a little bit careful with a fever. At some points, if it goes on for too long, you might want to bring it down and find another way to get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
And also, when you do have a fever, you're going to feel the fatigue afterwards. Everyone's talking about the long ting, right?
Yeah.
But
it's so fucking
people are suffering fatigue, right?
Yeah.
So, a fever is an example of burning calories. you need to replenish after you've had an experience like that. If you're going through detox and fever or anything like that, if you have a lot of heavy sweat, and you've got to consider the water-soluble minerals and vitamins like releasing, as well as whatever else that your lymph is kicking out the sewer system. You know?
Yeah, and drinking fluids is a really important part of that process as well, because
it's also like the herb and the tea is also good, because the tea like a quick way of explaining tea. I'm sure everyone knows what tea is, you know. But,
but go in, man, because
the magic of water, though, you know, water is magnetic and it pulls into itself. Yeah. So if you're putting a leaf into the water magnetic pull is pulling from the substance into itself, right? If you apply the heat, you're also helping in that process, because you're breaking down cellular walls so that things can excrete into the water more efficiently, you know? So if you're making a tea and you're working with different herbs, and you have a rough idea of what is in each of the herbs, which is variable from herb to herb and from even the same herb, depending on where it's grown and the maturity of it and everything. You know, because a lot of people don't realize that one plant isn't the same as another, because soil health is like essential to that entire conversation. If the soil's crap, then you're getting a cab with very little being transported in it. You know? Well, I'm just saying about the tea anyway. It's
iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, exactly. That's GMO bullshit. That's what
iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce.
No, man, you want to avoid iceberg lettuce like you're the Titanic.
Yeah, that's they definitely like. I think who was it? Someone tested like the nutritious. They tested the nutrition. You know, in the iceberg, and there was nothing. There was nothing. It didn't have shit, man. It's like, yo, what the hell?
I mean,
man?
I'm not even sure that shit burns, like, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but just chatting to finish off what I'm saying about the tea is like, once you've got the infusion or the diffusion, now you have a substance that you can absorb yourself, and it's broken. The minerals in it, the molecules are broken down into such a monatomic form that they can assimilate with the body. You know, they can get in and out of where they need to get in and out through methods generally to do with electric magnetic repulsion and attraction, because of the charge of something, it can only actually go where it's being pulled or repulsed. You know, so like tea is a really, even just getting into tea, it's deep. You know, working with herbs, and when you're releasing the water-soluble minerals and all that through being ill, you need to replenish them. You know, so I'm saying tea is a really good way to replenish your vital minerals and so on.
Who is it? Kenny Rebel said he wish they grew chaga tea more in the UK. He said it's a great tea. Chaga, is that a mushroom?
It's a mushroom, yeah. And you can hit up Amy True for a good source of that, you know?
Yeah, Amy True's got the chaga, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. She's saying she's got the chaga. So
I got chaga from Amy in my freezer downstairs, you know, and I make a nice tea with that sometimes, and it tastes nice and cinnamony. You can add a little cinnamon to it. It's really nice.
And what properties, what like benefits does it have?
I haven't gone deep into chaga, but I know that it's adaptogen, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mushrooms, man.
Huh?
Bruv, you can't play with the shrooms, man. Like, they got that adaptogen level. So, and yeah, can you break down what an adaptogen is for people who don't know?
Just in simple terms, that it has an affinity with the body. You know, it will work with the body. It will do what is needed in the body and not other random stuff. The way like the way a pharmaceutical would work is that it kind of it's the way the UN would like blanket bomb a country when they're trying to get like somebody in one house. You know what I mean? And they'll call that collateral damage, and they'll also call it safe and effective.
And they'll call it, let's be honest, they'll call it a side effect.
They'll call it a side
They
effect.
call it a side
Yeah,
effect
but
that wouldn't have happened if they
the
didn't
terminology
do.
of safe in the pharmaceutical world, though, actually is the same as what they would talk about as collateral damage in warfare.
Mm.
You know, they don't mean safe in the same way that we mean safe. It has a different terminology in the pharmaceutical speaking. It still accounts for a lot of damage. You know, which you wouldn't assume just reading, oh, it's safe. You know, safe by a different standard to yours, not to mine.
And please call it a direct effect. Because there ain't nothing
Yeah.
side about it.
It's
That wouldn't have
definitely
happened if
effect,
you
yeah.
didn't mess around with me. That's a direct effect. Calling it a side effect
Yeah.
makes you go, oh yeah, no, you know, sometimes it happens though, you know, not everything's 100%. It's like, bruv. Well, not
I think
everything's
it's really important side
100%.
effect.
Bruv,
Yeah.
if this whole idea is about saving lives, is about keeping people healthy, then that's all it should be. There shouldn't be no side effects. There shouldn't be no casualties. There shouldn't be nothing like that. You know,
You
otherwise
can
it's
look at
not
the
doing its
hypocrisy
job.
around that
Yeah,
conversation. They'll say that
it's so messed up. People's warped brains, man, warped ideas of what reality is, then allows all this shit to go on. Yeah, but you know it's not 100% though anyway. No, dude. It's like, bruv, come on, man. Listen to what you're saying.
I
Madness,
know.
man.
I find it hard to even converse with people that have a lot of blind faith in the established order. You know,
Mm.
especially when I've known them in the past as being in any way type of activists. Because I keep thinking like, at what point did you decide that everybody became benevolent in this world? You
Yeah.
know, the same established order that exists now is the same people that we've been talking about for the centuries past. You know, you want to talk about World War One, World War Two, colonialism as a whole, like, all the wickedness that we've experienced. There hasn't been any changing of the guards, you know, the same people. So why are we suddenly trusting these people with our health and our lives and
Yep.
without even any question of it?
Yeah.
To me, that makes it's bizarre. You know, I understand some people believe that they're all bumbling fools and are not that well um, organized to do what they're doing in an organized manner.
Mm.
You know, because they have their little puppets out there, like the Boris Johnsons and all that, look like fools on purpose. You know, but if you keep the script, they've got someone like that in every country.
Yeah, yeah. They're all
You
seeming
know,
to be the same
yeah,
person. Like,
I know, like in Ireland they got one in Australia. They all look like, oh, we didn't know. I mean, we're just trying to do our best. Oh my God, give us a break.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, you know. To me, I'm like, I mean, like you know, the government's up front for the lobbyists, and the lobbyists are working with the corporate. Like, it's not even money that rules the world. It's the people who invent them and control the money. Right? You know, because money's part of the trap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big time, man. Big. And we're really seeing it now. Now you're seeing all your stars, all the people that people are celebrating left, right, and center, all your favorite bands, actors, this, that, and the third. Now we're seeing like, yo, you are in the trap. You know, obviously not everyone's seeing it because they're in the trap as well. They're like, yeah, money, I got to pay my bills. It's like, yeah, you don't even understand what's going on. You don't understand what's going on in your world, man. Yeah, that's shout to Amanda Juma. Yes, big bro's in the building. Shout to the Detective UK. Hit me up. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get that. Check out the book. I know Detective UK is gonna drop some bombs in the comments, man. So you lot be prepared, yeah, because this guy's got some knowledge. You can even change the structure of water with words, thoughts, facts proven by Dr. Emoto. Ooh, what's going on there? Ubuntu.
Yeah, this is a book I recommend getting if you're interested in alternatives to the current financial bullshit.
Oh,
This is
that's the
more,
South African guy.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that. No wonder I recognize that. And
yeah,
so his thing is about, yeah, bringing ourselves out of this currency system, right?
yeah. And it's also exposing the global, you know what I mean? Because it's like we need to break down, you know, we need to pull back
The curtain.
the curtain, you know, so people can see the Wizard of Oz sometimes before you can move forward. Because you can't even have these conversations until like, people realize that there's trickery at play. You know, which is why I'm kind of concentrating a lot on my time and efforts right now on people who are already clued up because there's levels to the trap.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It's yeah, you're right about that. It's I say to people, it's like Inception, you know, like the dream within a dream within a dream. Do you know what I mean? And you've kind of got to work your way through it bit by bit, it literally is like an onion that you're peeling back and finding more layers, and you're like, oh shit. So, but you know, the essence is that everything is backwards. It literally is like a black mirror. It's something you don't see reflecting, you know what I mean, the wrong side of things. So you just think, oh yeah, okay, so I should do this because right, I better register, my mobile, get my pay my like everything that you, if you really peeled everything back, you find out, oh shit, it literally is the opposite. Like they're meant to pay me for doing this shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm meant to just sign this. I'm not even meant to give you any notes. I'm meant to just sign this in a certain way, you know, with whether it be with a red pen and my fingerprint or whatever it is. But there's like some kind of
I don't
they've just
none of
added
that, man. I
layers
just
and
know
layers
one
and
thing I know
layers.
about law. So the one thing I know about law is that no contract means no contract. If there's no contract, there's no contract. That's really the end of it. You know, I know that I got a few contracts with my legal fiction, like whatever type of account I might have with fucking
Passport, yeah.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't. I don't need to represent that my legal fiction in the real world. I can just continue to carry on in the grace and creator. You know, whole different thing. And what your man was just chatting about, the words creating shape and water, Doctor.
Yeah, Detective UK.
Huh?
The Detective UK. Oh, Dr. Emoto, yeah.
Dr. Emoto, yeah. His work is actually carrying on from other people's work. This is a good book on water.
Didn't he, Dr. Emoto, he got a group of people and they were by like this lake that was started to smell really bad or something like that. And they said it was, you know, it was quite like festered. And then they went and did prayers by the lake. And then, you know, days later, it sort of cleared up and whatnot. They did some form of testing and...
I've seen a lot of his experiments, and they've all been what do you call redoable, and each time they show that it's it's an actual fact. I ain't seen the one where there's people praying around the lake though.
What was the book you just held up? Sorry, what was that book?
I mean, it's different to the relationship between intention and water, but that's another. To get into this one, this is about the fourth phase of water, which is also about the water as a phase of plasma, which in the body is known as structured water. And there's a symbol that we all see nearly every day of our lives, especially if you're into reggae music. You know, the Seal of Solomon. People also know it as the Star of David. The hexagon shape is actually like the shape that you're going to find structured water presenting itself in. It's a diamagnetic field. It's also the same diamagnetic field shape that magnesium will create in the center of the chlorophyll in the plant. You know, and formed in its function. And these things are important. So when you're giving intention or vibration to the water, which we are as plasma, and it's creating a geometry, that's important to understand the effect of, because the water and emotional intelligence is related, you know. And what the information that you're going to give to your cell from an external source, including thought, is going to give the cell. The cell is going to respond to, you know, it's going to build something for that environment. You know,
it's deep, isn't it? You know, like what do we say? We say your blood's boiling. You know, so it's all, that's the feeling, innit? The feeling, that sense that you're getting is almost like your blood is reaching up to 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Celsius, and start bubbling up. And that's what it feels like. It's obviously not doing that, but that's the sense that you're getting. But literally, the water in, you know, the plasma in your blood, in your system, is probably reacting in that form of way to make you feel like that, right? It isn't just like a feeling. It's actually like on a chemical level.
Yeah.
You know, you're creating that. That's nuts, man. Nuts, bro.
When you get into neurology and neurochemistry and so on, you learn about proteins that are called neuropeptides, right?
Mm.
And they are produced through like a kind of a form of self-projection, self-belief. But they can come from an external, like for example, the experiment that the Asian doctor was doing with the water, right? I remember the one where they had the plants separately, and each day they were like cussing one plant out, and the other one was like just getting bare love. And you know already like where this is going. The one where the love was going, and the one that was getting hate didn't get off the ground. But you take that same uh, way of dealing with something to a child, for example.
Yeah, same principle. Yeah.
You raise a child telling you, who do you think you fucking are? You know, you ain't going to be nothing this, that, and the other, right? That child ain't really going to develop in the same way that a child that is always encouraged and given love in life. You know, so conscious parenting in that regard is important. You know, and you as an individual, as a sovereign being who has like self-love, you have the ability to overpower all of the negative shit that can come in your field.
It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Thought has the power to heal you as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You're right, man. Like there are people who are a lot more positive about things that never really, they never really get ill. Things don't really faze them in the same way as people that have, they're obviously, it's a bit harder to kind of control their emotions. And so there's ups and downs a lot. And it almost becomes something that they're addicted to as well. That feeling, of like the up and down, like, there's a moment that the down moments seem to be quite attractive to them in a way. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's even on that level as well, on a chemical level, like your body's kind of calling for it in a way. Until you can break out of that spell, whether it be to do with food or sex or, you know what I mean? Like whatever sort of addiction and that. It's
hard to explain. I think we all go through all those different types of emotions and find comfort in sadness sometimes, I think we all have the capacity to experience everything. I believe that I have. I've felt the worst of depression, and I've felt the heights of joy.
Yeah.
And recently, actually, just before the last full moon, I felt really depressed for about 3 days. Because there's some other shit going on in my life and that. And then after the moon passed, I don't know if it's directly related to the moon or not, even though like magnetism and water and everything and emotions, I can see where there'd be a link. But I felt really good after the moon passed. But while I was in the sadness, I was looking at it almost like coming down with the flu, like something it passes, because I already know from past experience that these feelings pass, right? So I'm not going to be sitting there thinking, oh my God, this is it, I'm depressed for the rest of my life. So let me just sit this through, give myself some self-love, nurture, find myself some comedy, reach out to people who I know were accompanying to me. I did all the things that are right. And I started putting together kind of a protocol of what to do, of how to manage and overcome emotional trauma. And I was working on a nutritional basis, just so that the sheer raw elements for healthy neurochemistry is in place. And then I was also thinking, like, that's not enough alone. You need to have the light and sound therapy that needs to be harmonious to lifting your mood, It's like, for example, a minor key can be more saddening than a major key, right? And then I was thinking, on top of that, there's two other things that you need to overcome, like, pull you out of sadness. And one is comforting, which isn't always accessible to everybody, because that could be the cause of feeling sadness in the first place, being alone. Then the other one is comedy, laughter, because laughter can really trigger the whole emotional cascade that's going to put you back on the right track. So even when I was feeling down, I was like pushing myself to find comedy, because even when you're down, you can't help but giggle if you hear something wildly hilarious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it has a positive effect, But yeah, I just found it interesting that I started taking that thought process about like looking at emotional pain, strain, stress, and trauma the same way I would nurture and nurse my way through what they call flu, right? I call that a detox. It's an emotional detox get inside. And then taking all these like pharmaceuticals that they give you, that's like a plaster that ends up making the wound deeper in the long run.
Well, was you doing that at the time? Was you?
Oh no, I never done nothing like that. I mean, when I was a teenager, I actually had my hands on other people's like jellies and all that shit on a recreational, reckless shit. You know what I mean? But I've never taken anything anything like that. I don't actually suffer depression in that regard either. I was just saying I was sad for a few days before the last full moon.
Yeah.
But my usual state is usually quite. I find myself. I enjoy my own company most of the time.
The Detective UK saying that you were detoxing. That was your body detoxing. That's why you have lunatics when it's a full moon. Is that something? What are you detoxing from? Then emotional detox, as you said. Oh my days, because the moon is emotional. Moon is feminine, so more on the emotional side. So I guess maybe that's. And I guess some people couldn't handle, what was going on with them, and so they just seemed like they were going a bit mad. And then people called them lunatics. Luna for the Luna. Shout out to Luna,
especially
by the way.
Run away from stuff and pull yourself into all sorts of stimulants and all that, rather than address it. Because I took time to do some self-reflection and so on,
Yeah, and when you do things like that, you can be dispelling old emotional states as well. So if you're doing a bit of self-reflecting and you're letting stuff go, that's maybe stuff from the past, that is going to have an effect on your body as it leaves your body, because it's all trapped in your body somewhere. Each of these emotions, stuff that you've gone through, gets trapped somewhere.
Yeah, and that's why, there'll be times when you just feel like, yo, man, I just feel really down at the moment. I don't know what.
Yeah, you just got to ride it out. It's fine. It's always going to, it's always going to try and find a way to get out again. If you're not willing to let it go, that's when it doesn't go. Is if you're not willing to let that thing go, But a lot of it is about about being able to let stuff go. But people like to hold on to things because it's comforting.
Emotionally, and because we're connecting that with, it's on a chemical level. When you keep holding on to that emotion, which is like the German new medicine idea, is that those chemicals now start to create some form of
an illness in the body.
In the body,
what
which
appears
could turn
to be
a tumor, cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah, poison.
Dr. Hammer, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Shout out to Regentology, locked in.
Yes.
German new medicine is an interesting topic.
Definitely, yeah.
I think there's something to it for sure. I do think like having an emotional, vice on something that isn't necessarily a good thing to hold on to can end up being detrimental to you in some form of way, even if it's mentally.
Yeah, well, his idea is that it affects your psyche and your body both get affected by trauma at the same time, and so they can you can see a spot on the brain, and that spot on the brain correlates to a point on the body, and that happens immediately as soon as you get some sort of shock. So say you get some bad news, or look at like the lockdown. So you get locked down, the whole country gets locked down, the whole world gets locked down. So that puts some people into a complete conflict shock where they're like, oh no, what am I going to do? My whole life's changed, and they don't know how to handle it. And you put them under that for 6 months, and then give them something of getting out of it, and then suddenly they get ill when they're coming out of it. They come out of lockdown, start getting ill, and all this stuff, and it's the relief of being let out of it. And the same with Spanish flu. Right? Dr. Harmer's idea of Spanish flu is that you've been in 4 years of conflict with the First World War, and as those people come home and the relief of being away from the conflict, suddenly everyone starts getting ill. So they're detoxing the emotional, the emotional trauma of being in war.
They were also being poisoned and radiated in that war.
Yeah.
Bad conditions
and then they were
as well.
Made sick from that shit as well.
Yeah.
Bad conditions as well. Apparently it was pretty
well,
bad.
you always get typhus in war. That's it's one of the results of they say, oh, it's because everyone's moving around, so you start getting typhus and all the refugees and all this stuff. But it's just something that happens with people that are displaced and people that are in a state of like not knowing where they are. Suddenly you start seeing signs of typhus appearing everywhere.
Also malnutrition related as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, big time.
You know something interesting about when you see old war veterans in wheelchairs and all that without their legs or missing limbs and things. You assume that they've been they're losing limbs in battle, innit? You know, for the most part, they ain't. It's usually a product of diabetes.
Wow.
Which relates back to the food that they were being fed in the army.
Right.
And then it's related to the treatment that they're given for the diabetes, leading eventually to amputations, because they don't treat nobody. They don't try to heal nobody.
Yeah,
they
cure.
don't try to heal nobody with diabetes.
You're not allowed to say the word cure.
There's amputation, like there's no other way around it. And it's terrible because you can definitely cure diabetes, metabolic disorder.
I hope people are noticing the theme. Well, there's this thing of the duality of, you know, like I was talking about that Black Mirror. Everything you think is meant to be good. Everything that's meant to help, it's the opposite, bruv. It's the opposite, man. It's like, yo. It's
and the things that we're trained to be scared of are actually helpful to us. Like, look, everyone's germophobic right now. Like, I'm just looking at people. Come on, man. We are germs.
Yeah, they're germophobic. Yeah. That was another paradigm. That's one that I was like, oh, right. I was like, oh, shit, it doesn't really work like that. So that means everything I've kind of thought about, like, oh, when someone's coughing or when, you know, you walk past someone and they smell or, you know, you're just like, ugh. People, you know, like, I got brethren like, people are nasty, man, anyway. Like, so that's why I just stay, like, I keep my 2 meters in it, 6 point. 6 foot 6. I stay 6'6" from man. You get me? Standing 6'6" from man. You get me? I just gotta make sure I keep my distance. Like, but yeah, and you realize like, right, it doesn't even work like that. Like, there's more bacteria and germs than there is us walking around. Like, you know, in us. Like, we're made more of all these.
Yeah, it's 4 times the amount of germs of 4 times the amount of bacteria in the body than there is cells.
Human cells.
Yeah.
And then there's a multiplication of that for the virome.
The virome.
Yeah, because you got your microbiome, which is the bacteria,
right,
and then you got the virome, which is the viruses.
Okay, right.
Which some people are saying exosomes. Like, you know, I think it's a mixture. I don't think it's just exosomes because they've managed to isolate the exosomes, but on the other side,
no. The only difference is one is yours and one is alien. That's how they differentiate.
Okay.
An exosome is your RNA material outside of the cell, whereas a virus is the foreign genetic material that's got into your body somehow. Through the process that is known as horizontal gene transfer.
Isn't it that they're actually there to help us, like because they want to live in us, they want to make sure that we're healthy. So they help get rid of the bullshit.
I don't know if they have any kind of conscious intent, but they pass on information. You know, it's like an envelope with some information in it because it's light. They are the amino acids that they're made of hold various light structures, and that again in geometry formed in its function. It's going to give information to the body to do something.
You know?
Sacred
geometry.
Sacred geometry is all part of this. Because like before we were studying pigments, back in the day it was just geometry. That's why I brought this little calcite crystal. I wanted to show you an experiment with it, but the only one I could find is too cloudy to show you. You know, but this is a calcite crystal, and we have calcite crystals in our pineal gland. We actually have molecules called Posner molecules, which have 9 calcite crystals in a double cube form with one in the center, and 6 phosphates in the shapes of tetrahedrons around that.
Yeah.
And it's the relationship between the phosphorus and the calcium that is creating our ability to see energy, translate energy.
See imagery.
Yeah, like to see, because our brain is like kind of saturated in phosphorus, and if you take the information that we're taking extrapolated from the body and we look at the technology that we use, like this screen, for example, it's using the same type of technology that we are, you know, like the plasma screen is phosphorus involved with that. It's got the cathode ray system going along, color filtration, and all these things happening, you know.
AI,
I can't really. What?
AI.
AI, yeah, man. I say actual intelligence. I'm gonna stick with that. You know, they can have their artificial intelligence. I'm gonna stay with actual intelligence, man. You know. But what happens with the crystal is I find really amazing. Yeah, is that you could. I can't show you. I wanted to show you like I could put the crystal on something. If you could see through it, you can't see through it, can you?
Kind of just about ish, not really, no.
What I wanted to show you is that it's going to create like a mirror of what it's facing, in the center of it. So it's creating
like it will reverse the image.
It doesn't reverse the image; it duplicates the image. It creates two of them. You know, so it's called bifringence. It creates two lasers. You know, and once it goes through this system, because I want to get to the point that the body is a liquid crystal, and it's crystals within crystals, and it's constantly making crystals, like in the blood. But when it's to do with the melanin systems and so on, you know, the pigment systems. When the light hits you, it first goes into two bifringence lasers, and then from that crystal, it's like friggin' disco ball. And if you can imagine all these crystals are moving rapidly, like the amount of light and structure that's taking place, creating work everywhere, constantly, all the time. You know, like light is really, really important to our biology. You know? And when you learn more about that, you start to take it into account that you need to get the natural light, and you need to be wary of the artificial light, and you also need to be wary about the light that you're getting into your food. You know, someone was talking about the vibration of food causing disturbance to the body. This is where it's going to come down to, because it's about light metabolism and quantum biology.
Yeah, and the quality of light as well. So you have to make sure you're getting light early in the morning, and rather than just like the last light at the evening. Don't just get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go and get some light. You've got to be up, and you know, and that's what sets the cycles of your body and keeps you healthy, in that you're not going to bed late and waking up late and all the rest of it. You've got to be getting good quality light.
Wow.
And also, if you're deficient in certain minerals, you're not getting the not refraction that you need. You know, so that's why like mineral deficiency can be a problem. And I think we mentioned it last time that when you do have a mineral deficiency, your bone is always going to be taxed and leached to supplement that.
Right.
That's what increases biological aging. Really feeding your bones, you should be working your bones, because the bones, everything is a crystal. The whole body is a crystal. And I don't know if you've heard of the term piezoelectricity. Piezoelectric.
Yeah.
Break that down, man. What's that?
What it basically means is creating energy through friction. You know, so if the crystal is, we are a crystal, and every time we move, we're creating charge just through our movement because of the friction.
Yeah.
Everywhere, you know, we're stimulating like lightning bolts. You know, and that's what's creating growth. And we're being robbed of this because of modern convenience. A lot of people don't move as much as they used to. You know, the body is designed to be in this environment that we live in. And as an animal of the earth, we are meant to be more active. You know, walking, climbing, running, doing stuff, carrying, lifting, loading. And these are the things that help us grow and keep us healthy. It also helps to structure your water. You know, it's going to, if you want to have a strong defense against pathogens or irritants or radiation, anything. In fact, a daily workout on your skeletal system is going to strengthen you and protect you and stop you from aging. You know, because if you look at the 24-hour cycle and then reflect on it, have you poisoned yourself more than you have worked on your physique? You know, because it can just come down to that, whether or not tomorrow you're going to be older than you were today. Because like time and biology aren't related. You have two twins that live in different environments. One ages terribly and one ages greatly. You know, because the environment is different, the attitudes are different, the diet's different, the whole vibe's different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying to learn a bit more about the whole health system, understanding the body from a crystal ladder structure perspective. You know, this is a good book on pleomorphism. You were asking about pleomorphism.
Biological transmutations.
Yeah, this is the guy who actually kind of came up with the term. This book kind of condenses his work. It's good.
What's his name?
It's a French doctor, Professor C. Lewis Kervran. Top.
Professor C. Lewis Kervran. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know,
there's like a couple of little tips there. Like if you need iron, get manganese. If you need calcium, make sure you got silver. And there's a reason, because there's transmutations that take place throughout the elements. You know, they're not set. You know, because again, it comes down to frequencies. If an atom is absorbing light, that's going to determine its electral cloud. They've changed the terminology now from the balances into clouds. But if it starts to absorb more light, it's going to become a new atom. It's going to become a new compound. You know.
Yeah, so it morphs, I guess, because just to balance out. Like there's some, obviously it's like, okay, now I need to do this. More or less it's like...
It's just super intelligent design. It's really intelligent design, man. Like everything's just going to do what it needs to do and swap and share and, you know, keep it moving.
So he
but
was...
our problem is that we're...
So what was the reason why he's saying, you know, if you're going to have this vitamin, then you should have this mineral. You know, if you have this, then you should have this.
Just the basic building blocks of what you need. You know, you need the raw materials to build whatever it is, you know. And we're deficient in so many things because it's not in the soil. Like, it all comes back down to soil health. Like, you can be eating this, that, and the other. You're not getting what you need, you know. Like, people are having these arguments about meat and vegan and all that. It's like beside the point. You know, you really need to be getting a good full array of all the minerals and vitamins, everything. You know, you can't just rely on fiber. You can't just rely on protein. Second rate. I mean, I would never recommend people to be eating meat in the industrialized world. You know, if you're living out in nature, with wild animal, you know, then you know, good for you. Like,
yeah.
But from the industrial slaughter industry, where they're pumping it with all that shit and the animals traumatized and everything else, it's bad news, you know. But it's not much different to the plants that are grown in the same industry, by the same industry. You're monoculturing the crops, cloning the crops, modifying the crops, putting them into these mineral deficient soils, you know. It's not really doing us any favors either. You know, you're better off going out on road and picking some nettles and making yourself some nettle tea and soup or something. That you're going to get more out of it.
Yeah, dandelions and shit.
People are so deficient in selenium as well. I mean, we're not taught about these basic things that we need. You know, people are told stuff like you need calcium for your bones, and so they can sell you milk. Not a lot, you know. They just tell you like things that they can sell. You know. And there's actually a little bit of racism involved in why they use selenium in the soil as well, because the people who are running the industry is more of like a European industry, and the polar haplotype doesn't depend on selenium as much because the tutorial have to take. So they just neglect to put it in there, you know.
Is selenium Brazil nuts? You get selenium from Brazil nuts, right? Yeah.
Man.
Get your Brazil nuts in, mother lovers.
You only need like 3 a day.
Oh, 3 Brazil nuts a day. These nuts.
You can have selenium toxicity as well, but I don't think anyone's likely to run into that anytime soon because they're so deficient. Selenium and iodine, like, really deficient. People need to eat like a couple of Brazil nuts a day and get more sea greens, more sea veg in your diet.
Yeah, man. Man, I got to chat to Irish, man. I've been getting on the what was it? We had some sea moss already, so we've been doing that. We did the gel, sea moss, and bladderwrack.
You know, I go militant on people trying to get them to make the gel right.
Yeah. Nah, the gel was good, man. Like, I'll tell you what, it's been about 2 weeks now, and I can definitely feel a difference. Like, I had some of the spaghetti, the sea spaghetti, that was banging as well. It's kind of weird. It's like cooking it was, you're looking at it thinking, right, what's it going to taste like, man? And when you're tasting it, it's like, right, it tastes like pasta. You know what I mean? And then what else was it? Oh, and the dulce. Woo! Potent, man.
Like the dulce?
The dulce is banging, bruv. I like it,
dulce
man.
is a good source of the B minerals. And a nice way to eat it is just wash it off and then drizzle lime on it.
Yeah. You can have it raw, man. You can fry it up a little bit if you want, you know what I mean? Little sauteed dulce, but you can have it raw as well, and it's like potent, man. Like definitely.
I grew up on that. That was one of the decent things that we had in our community growing up was dulce. Dulce was everywhere. We eat that like crisp.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Dulce. So this iodine thing, right? Can you be like, you know, do you have to be careful with iodine as well? Like you said with the selenium, you can have too much, but with iodine, do you have to like obviously keep your doses at a level or what?
If you're completely iodine deficient, you don't want to start like loading up on iodine. And that could be problematic because you're going to go from an overactive thyroid to an underactive thyroid because it deals with signaling and so on and metabolism, and it's related to the thyroid a lot. Thyroid. It's similar to the selenium, but if you start to get more and more used to having iodine in your diet, then you can tolerate a lot more as you go on.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting to get iodine into your diet, you don't want to load up on it. You don't want to be taking supplements either. You want to make sure you don't have a dietary source. I never recommend these synthetic anything.
No.
It's always problematic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, man. I did read up like.
Well, you know, we're talking frequencies. Iodine is actually the base harmonic of oxygen. You know, which is a whole other way of looking at stuff. You know, hydrogen is going to be a higher octave of oxygen. You know, so you can make music about it. This is where music and healing can come into play as well.
Regantology is asking, is iodine once every few days? Would you say take iodine once every few days, or is that just sort of to build up a tolerance to it, or what's the plan?
Well, I won't say like take anything. Just incorporate it into your daily your daily life. You know, so I'm saying just eat more sea greens in general.
Yeah.
Rather than too deeply about how much you're getting of this.
But you're saying just be aware of how much you're getting because you can overdose on it early
I don't
on.
think anyone's going to eat so much sea greens.
No, you don't know. You don't know our chat.
So, yeah, but
they're extreme people.
The thing is, some people have got like the tincture. Like I've got a tincture of iodine. You know, like the oil. And so,
well,
like,
where did they get it from?
I don't know. It's a good source. Like, it's not. But I'm saying, like, how would they? Like, how many drops would you say a day then, or whatever of that? Because that's kind of different from eating. I think the sea greens, when you're meant to get all these minerals, we're meant to get it from the source, really. Do you know what I mean? But like, there are people that obviously get the.
I make tinctures that are loaded with iron and phosphorus. You know, just using metal and wild lettuce and shit. You know, so they're handy because I use the tincture when I'm making my CMOS gel because I'm loading it up so that I want the right ratio of calcium and phosphorus and iodine and everything.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to work it out. I'll know like what the ratios are is in the chondrus and what the ratio is in the kelp and what the ratio is in the bladder, and work it out mathematically so I know that in every tablespoon there's this much calcium, this much phosphorus. And I want that for a particular reason, you know. So with iodine, again, it's not like something you need loads of, you know, to trace element you need in the system. So yeah, like just incorporate more sea veggies with that, but like don't go try to eat the whole ocean.
Yeah, man. Get that sea moss in, get some algae in, sea spaghetti, the bladder rack. Jeez, man. Nori. Yeah, nori. Nori. Yeah. I mean, and it's just potent, man. Like, it's weird because I've been doing noni, you know, the noni fruit. I've been having that. And like I said, you wake up, you feel like, yo, you're on a cloud. But then since with the doing all these sea, you know, vegetables, like I wake up bed on a cloud, but then I'm like, yo, I'm ready to, you know what I mean? I just go in, like I want to do a workout or something. Like I'm like, right, yeah, you just wake up with like a different energy, man.
Nickname the Irish moss. They used to nickname the Irish moss. Put it back, innit? Because for when man like being out getting jiggy with the missus, you know.
Yeah.
Do some vital nutrients.
Yeah.
So we put it back, you know. It's always been a slang term for the Irish moss. To put it back.
Yo, the Irish moss, man. I'm telling you, it's dangerous, boy. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, man. You're not chatting about my hobo bottle. Kenny Rebel, man. This looks like a hobo bottle. You know what this bottle is? We've been talking about it. Guess what this bottle does?
Looks nice.
It structures the water.
How's it doing that?
It's got a golden ratio, the shape. These eyebrows pluck up.
Yeah, because really the structure of the water is just within inside the body. Like if it's liquid, it's not structured.
Taking the piss out of my bottle, man.
Structured water is gel.
This is like eco-friendly, man. It's an eco-friendly bottle.
Oh, so he's unwrapping the bottle.
Yeah, look.
That's
cool.
It comes in two sides, right?
Yeah, and then look, you got.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the golden ratio, that shape right there.
Yeah.
And then you've also got. You know what I mean? The flower of life.
Can you see that on the
I don't know
thing?
if they can see that.
Yeah, there you go. It's got like a flower of life on the bottom of it.
Yeah, so look at that fucking hex, yeah? It's a fucking cube.
I've got...
That's still H2O. Like a structured water in the body would be H3O2.
H3O2.
And that's the...
Yeah.
That's like a plasma, the gel.
Plasma, right. Okay,
yeah, the plasma. And the plasma, and it has some, there's some kind of electric, you know, there's some kind of current, like there's a electric current, right? Like a negative and a positive charge.
Yeah, everything has charge. Every aspect of us has charge. You know? And within the plasma, this is what this book is breaking down. The structured water in the body. It's talking about the exclusion zone. They call it easy water. You know, so if water comes across like hydrophobic surface, it's touching a surface, it starts to separate the charge at the meeting point of the surface. It's going to pull electrons and push protons out. You know, so from this point you can create a current by putting in your what do you call them things using electronics to charge. You know, but anyway, you put your negative and your positive connection, and you'll create a current through from the electron pool and the photon pool that is being expelled. And this is really key to intracellular cleansing as well, because if you're looking at the cell as being predominantly full of cytoplasm, what's going to push irritants out is the structuring of the water, the expulsion that takes place. And one of the great ways of doing that, again, is through reverse inertia, hormesis, the effect of exercise.
Reverse inertia.
That's you get the reverse inertia from isometric exercise. It's when you're doing like holds, and you can feel yourself trembling inside.
Planking.
The other important thing was near infrared light that you get from the rising sun is one of the greatest things for structuring the body's waters. So the more sunrises you can catch, or early morning light, the stronger your health will be in general.
Yeah.
Because your water is going to be you're irradiating your blood and you're cleansing your cells from an intracellular level.
Trust. You don't want to know, it tastes like structured water. They definitely taste different compared to like normal water that I'm drinking. And there's no need for me to lie. This was a present, by the way, so don't disrespect my present. Yeah, you lot out there trying to cuss my hobo look. Man said it looks like a hobo. This is to
Kenny
protect
Rebel
the
said
glass.
you get them on QVC.
Yeah. Man said you get them on QVC. Like, come on, man. You're hating. Kenny Rebel saying that because he saw it on QVC. He's like, rah.
Yeah.
Shit, man, I might get. Oh, nah, it's gone up a bit. Nah, okay.
Yeah.
And now he's seeing that man's got it. He's like, rah.
No, he didn't believe it.
Your
He
ma-
didn't have faith in it, so he didn't get it.
Trust me, it works. Like, they've got it. It's proven as well. You know what I mean? And so tried it. Like, rah, okay. But you got to be careful with it. You know what I mean?
With great power comes great responsibility.
The Irish moss gel, when it's made prepared properly as well, it also helps to structure the water in the body as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's got that gunky, gluey, kind of plasma-y vibe to it as well. It's like okra, isn't it? Okra's got that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, okra has got. Well, I haven't looked too deep into okra, but I know okra has got like important minerals. I think it's got good calcium, and it's definitely good. Definitely good for the gut micro. I know that the gut bacteria enjoys okra.
Oh, okra, yeah.
I don't know the reasons of it. I just know okra. I have okra in my diet. Sure.
Oh, your mom
One
was.
thing about the Irish moss that's worth mentioning though is that it's also a starch. We're usually like really scared of starches. Because it just breaks down the glucose sugar, right? And often, sometimes it's like a glutamate type of harmful substance to the body because of the hybridization of food in general. But this isn't that type of starch. This is galactose. And galactose is the preferred sugar for nerves and neurons. So it's going to also help you keep healthy cognitive function, and the fact that it's going to help strengthen and reinforce your myelin sheath and them type of thing there,
Myelin sheath, yeah.
That type of stuff, you're going to get seizures, because like having lesions throughout your body and your nerves is what get called to be the multiple sclerosis. So it's going to give you good, strong defense against the likes of multiple sclerosis, for example, having more of the C greens in your diet, or C reds. Thomas Christmas is a red algae.
The C reds, yeah. Your mom was asking, what does it taste like? She meant the sea moss, not the structured water. But yeah, the structured water does taste banging though, anyway, just in case you lot was wondering, still haters out there. Yeah. What does sea moss taste like?
It can be pretty flavorless, or it can have a bit of a sea taste. And depends on how you prepare it as well. Because I make my one with star anise, fennel, and licorice. So it gives it a bit of a slight licorice flavor, and I also seal it with manuka honey. So I've got like some funky flavors in mine that give it a bit of a sweet licorice flavor. But I'm not just doing that for flavor. I'm doing that because I want more DHA from the honey. I want the shikimic acids from the fennel and the star anise. It also benefits the flavor. But if you're just making Chona's Crispus gel without adding anything to it, then it's going to taste kind of bland. But you don't usually sit and eat spoonfuls of it on. You know, you add like a spoon to your soup or to your juice or to your baking. You know, you put it in tea. You know, like for example, I make a tea with I melt majul dates, put in ginger and cinnamon. It's just that with the sea moss gel, and that's like a little tea. It's really spicy. You know, like a masala tea. It's nice. Sweet masala Irish moss tea.
That's a mixture.
Fusion food.
Yeah, fusion food.
People use it as a thickening agent, you know, which is also one of the reasons I try to kind of tell people to be careful with the Fugazi stuff being sold if it looks too clear and so on, because a lot of it's been depigmented, bleached to such an extent that it's really just used for industrial use. And the industrial use of carrageenan, which is the gelling agent inside the sea moss, is used as a bulking agent in so many massive industrial products like ice cream and toothpaste and lip balm and all sorts of mad shit. It's used in the pharmaceutical world as well in the petri dishes. So there's a big demand for just the bulking agent, the carrageenan. So the people who are selling it, they're not so concentrated on the best quality for your smoothie. You know, you need to be sure you know what you're looking for, which is why I kind of recommend to get the stuff that looks darker in color, because the pigments are really, it's not just the pigments are really important aspect of the benefits of the seedlings. Also the gelling agent and the lactose, and the sulfated polysaccharides. But pigments are super important.
Mucilage, that's the stuff you're on about.
Mucilage.
The sticky stuff that's like okra and sea moss and algae or whatever. And,
they have.
Yeah.
Mucilage. There's another.
Right. Remember MC Mucilage?
Mucilage, yeah, and it's good for. It's actually good for us because you know it kind of
coats your mucous membranes apparently and creates a nice barrier for you. You know, like because it's like a sort of
film.
Like aloe vera's got it as well.
Yeah,
so
aloe vera,
like
that's it. Yeah,
sticky,
aloe vera. Yeah. Wow, man. See, and these things, you know, you see there's a link there, man. That they're all plants or foods that are told are good for you in
psyllium
some form of way.
husks. Psyllium husks got it as well. If you when you put psyllium husks in water, they go into that sort of gelatinous type thing. Yeah.
Chia seeds as well.
Yeah, chia seeds. Yeah.
Put them in a glass, fill them up, it turns into a gel, and they're highly electric. They're full of. You see them jump around in the packet. Like they got energy.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
The foods are there for us, bruv. We just got to find them. That's all. So Kenny Rebel's asking, no, we are a third world country. Thanks to water companies dumping sewage, will seaweed be affected?
You should always be cautious of your sources, you know. But the sea is such a powerful self-cleaning entity itself, you know. So you can look to get a source of your algae from a place that you know has excellent currents. You don't want to be getting it from a place where water pools, you know, because that's where you're going to have a problem where water pools and stagnates. And you get shitty water. But if you have like aggressively flowing water currents, you're pretty much in the clear that type of vibe, you know.
See it there. That makes a lot of sense, man. That makes a lot of sense.
Some parts of like the coast of Ireland, you know, where water is flowing hard, and as well, it strengthens the algae as well because they're holding onto the rocks.
Right.
They don't have roots. That's a little tiny little clip.
Yeah. So you're
imagine the size of helps. They're enormous. They're big enough.
Yeah. So you're getting stronger strains, more virulent strains, where the water's more turbulent. Yeah.
Yeah, the wild craft, and when they're wild,
that's a good point.
They gotta strive harder to live. So they're definitely going to be more stronger, you know.
Tough times make strong algae. Yeah.
That term wildcraft has been kind of watered down as well because they're using it even now in
Wildcraft.
farming.
In
They'll say
farming.
it's wild. Yeah, they'll say it's wildcrafted, but they're farming it on ropes on the coast,
Right.
rather than foraging for it. You know. So sometimes the terminology gets a bit too gazy. You know,
Yeah.
like even organic doesn't really mean what you might think or hope it means.
Yeah, yeah. There's obviously like set they can say this organic means this. They can change the definition of it, and then now you can spray like only 25% of your yield should be sprayed.
You know in parts in some of the states, I'm not sure which states this is. Like, it was disgusting, but they were passing off organic fertilizer. You know what they're using?
What?
Human shit.
Human shit. I guess if they're eating organic food, you know.
Yeah, but yeah.
I don't know if
that's how humans. Well, how do you think we discovered that food would grow? It was like oh, it's at the end where we're shitting. It's like food growing.
I'm
it's the
actually
seeds from.
like shitting in your own garden and being part of part of the loop. But I don't trust processed people's poop.
No.
For my food. I don't want no McDonald's poop growing my kale.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So depending on who's yeah, that's kind of messed up, man. But regatology, yeah. Chia seeds are really good, man. You should get into them. You can sprinkle them on your breakfast if you're having porridge or something like that. Let it set for a bit. Let them gel up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good for things like acne, moisturization, natural serum. Get your protein, copper, zinc, alpha linoleic acid, iron. Jeez, yeah, iron was the one that I knew about, but damn. So you got a lot of properties there that are definitely beneficial, man.
Anyway, one of the basic fats, you know, that you need for intelligence.
It's true, isn't it?
The brain depends on fats.
Yeah, and they try and tell us to keep a low-fat diet for some reason.
Yeah, there's different types of fats, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But we definitely need, like, I need more fat in my diet. Like, I'm trying to put some weight on, you know. It's really hard for me. I work out, but I'm really strengthening my bones.
Yeah.
You know? So building some firm muscle, but you wouldn't see them.
Yeah, it's hard as you got to switch the diet in some form of way that kind of helps you bulk up more muscle.
Yeah. I do have a recipe for like a super high calorie smoothie that I make as a weight gain smoothie, but I'm only going to be doing that if it's matching my life at the time, you know. So I really need to be doing like a serious workout every day to match that, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems that people have with eating. Actually, like, it's not even so much what is being eaten; it's like the way it's being eaten. Like people will eat and then lay down, and then they'll eat and then they will lay down.
Yeah.
They'll eat and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's not how you eat. You know, you have to eat for what you're planning to do.
Eat for a reason. Yeah. You got to be eating for a reason, definitely.
And use that energy.
Not even having shit, getting constipated.
Yeah.
And then eating again. You haven't got rid of the other shit. But these are really basic things, like, which I always recommend having fruit in the morning. Really, that's going to help you get your bowel movement.
Yeah. Water.
Empty out, you know. And if you're going to eat, you should go for a walk after at least, you know, or do some push-ups, do something. You know, don't just sit down.
So you should walk straight after. Shouldn't you sit and let it digest first and then
let digest for a bit, but still you want to work it off.
Depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're trying
people don't know. Dad's always working. Dad's always doing shit. That's why he's taking it to heart a little bit. Like,
no, it depends what you're doing.
Dad's always up to shit. Yeah, he's like, yo, bruv, I gotta go do this now. Let me just eat this on the way, man.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you're working out to bulk up, then you do need to plan out what you're eating and when you're eating it. And it's
yeah.
got to be really after you've got to focus on protein after you've worked out. But it depends what working out you're doing as well. If you're doing, you could be doing like a heavy weights, or you could be doing like a cardio routine or whatever. But if you want to bulk up, then you've got to be packing the food away for a start. You've got to eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
You've got to eat like 1.5 times what you'd normally eat.
Yeah.
And
I can make a smoothie with like over 1,000 calories in it.
yeah, but it's the macros, and when you're trying to gain weight, it's the macros. It's about fat and protein, and just making sure you're not having too much carbs, and
you have to be sort of regimental with it.
Yeah,
in a way that then your body start clicking to bulk up. Because when you're doing it with a smoothie, you're just putting loads of calories in, and then your body's like, okay, there's loads more calories, and it's just gonna end up sort of burning more. It's gonna be like, okay, we got to burn a little bit more calories just to maintain. Whereas when you're adding macros to it on a regular level, then your body's like, okay, shit, better start bulking up then, because there's more coming in, on a stodgy level, like.
But trying to get protein in as well, so that you've got actual muscle building.
Yeah.
Something to build muscle, and then the fat obviously to help break the protein down as well, and not mixing the carbs and proteins if you can help it, so you're not sort of doing bad food combining or whatever it is, preventing them.
I would always recommend like eating dinner early and working out late.
Yeah, I mean whatever works for each person really, because everyone is sort of different when it comes to actually things like bulking, and everybody's got different bodies when it comes to weight and bulking, and
it works differently,
fat content and everything.
Yeah.
So people have to really try all different ways of doing it, and then
see what works. Because there's a couple people saying they find it hard to put on weight. Kenny Rebel and Yamar, and that's the thing I've noticed, is that everyone's a bit different in terms of how their metabolism works, and so you kind of have to tailor it more to your sort of routines. Like it maybe even you have to slow down a bit with certain things, whether it be train of thought or physical activity or whatever. But there are certain reasons like that, and then also what you're consuming, in terms of the food. Like whether it is stuff that's going to help you bulk as well, that comes into play. So it's like everyone's different, and so there's more to it than just like switching up your diet, I think. Anyway,
but in one of the main things that I've learned is to focus on the macros of the food rather than the calories of the food. Because
for sure.
That really made a big difference for me when I was like trying to actually put bulk on. Not just having 2,500 calories, but just having the right calories, and the right balance of
I focus on that as well. I said I fill the smoothie with calories, but it's full of macadamia nuts and hemp and all that kind of stuff. Antioxidant things as well to go with it.
It's actually hard to have a lot of protein. That's the other thing as well, because protein's actually, it's not a lot of calories for the weight. And you're only meant to have like 2 grams of protein per kilogram of weight a day. Otherwise, it all just turns to glucose as well. So you have to, you have to sort of work out your protein first, about 2.2 grams per kilogram of weight, your body weight. And then that gives you like your first macro, and then the others you work out from there. So there's a balance of fat and carbs. Obviously, you don't want too many carbs if you're trying to bulk, or if work out either way. But if you add on say 10% if you want to bulk. So instead of 2,500 calories, 2,000.
The terminology used around macro and micro, I think, give what gets categorized as micro too little importance. I don't believe that micros should be micros. I think like your vitamins and minerals, they need to be. You need to be getting them in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You have to concentrate on that as well. Yeah, you can't just.
The terminology, when they say micro, they think like, because people will go to the gym, and even now with like, someone with a regular personal trainer qualification may do your workout for somebody, and then afterwards quite happily let them drink some Gatorade to replenish some lost electrolytes, and that's not going to cut it at all.
No.
Especially with those drinks that have got artificial colors and flavors.
Yeah. That's it. You see that a lot with a lot of the workout stuff.
Crazy.
When you actually look at what's in the workout stuff, like the bars, these protein bars and drinks and all these things that the protein powders
whey
and all that
protein
stuff.
and all that,
You can look what's in them. It's
With
all
vanilla,
like artificial,
vanilla flavor, strawberry
the flavored
whey
ones.
protein.
Oh my god,
rainbow flavor,
rainbow flavor.
rainbow,
terrible.
candy.
Really bad stuff in there. But I don't know why they don't make them actually good for people. I just don't understand why. Why do they do these things and then put like chocolate around them? Like, why do they do that? Why do they do like a protein bar with chocolate around it? Just make it. Do people, are they that adverse to eating something that's meant to be good for them?
Yeah. That it's got to be coated in.
It's got to be coated in something that makes it appealing.
Kenny Rebel was asking, do you rate pea protein? His mate uses it in shakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really eat peas too much, but pea protein's up there. I think it's a good one.
Pea protein, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, got that pea protein, baby.
Hemp is my one. Like, hemp, I think, is number one.
Right.
But pea is...
Yeah, hemp, I get bubble guts with hemp.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason. So I think it's too fibrous for me. You know what I mean? I got my hobo bottle with my fiber, like too fibrous for hemp ass. So I'll just blaze it instead. Yay. But no, I'm good with
balance out the fiber with your fluids, It's the muffin sweet.
Yeah, so I should probably like add more water to it or something.
I don't know how much water you
milk.
drink. No,
maybe
not
have
the
it with
actual drink itself. I mean, like just drinking water throughout the day.
Yeah, true. That's true, man. We're all we're all like chronic dehydrated apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, more so now than ever. This conversation is dehydrating us because of the technology we're using.
Yeah.
The radiation is dehydrating us. A lot of diet is dehydrating us. Artificial light is dehydrating us. Stress dehydrates you. Things are dehydrating you, So I'm always on a hydration quest. Juicy fruits, water, love.
Yeah.
It's needed, man. Yeah, I mean,
the moss as well, like the way the sodium salts work in it, they can actually create water in your body because like part of the mitochondria's role is to produce water, Like we are an entire self-contained ecosystem in some regards, like create our own water.
Is that also so you've got the mitochondria, but you've also got bacteria, and it's actually a bacteria that is calling for the fucked up food. So say like when people, that's the reason why people go out drinking, they get drunk, and then later on, the alcohol's screaming now for some greasy, salty, like bad shit, and that's why they end up going for their kebabs or McD's or whatever it is.
My understanding is more that it's parasites, and parasites can hijack your nerve signals, and just start demanding sugar. Give us sugar.
Yeah.
And that's where the addiction comes from.
Oh, yeah.
Can be, yeah. Things like candida or something that's basically just eats sugar. Because they're abiotic, they eat sugar, so you get things like candida that actually just breathes sugar. It doesn't breathe oxygen or carbon dioxide. It breathes sugar. So
it breathes sugar.
They metabolize sugar. That's rather than breathing oxygen or carbon dioxide, they sort of metabolize sugar.
Jeez, imagine that, where you're like in Charlie's in a chocolate factory. Yo, sugar. Yo, just give me some more fucking sugar. No wonder these youths go so mad. Yo, give me some fucking little 3-year-old. Like, yo, bro, give me some fucking sugar right now. Yeah.
Well, one of the theories is that these what you call like quote unquote parasites actually are in the body to take up the slack. So say you're having too much sugar, then the candida will eat the excess sugar that your body can't process. So the candida is actually just there doing it, and again, it's just doing a job. It's not there because you've got a problem. It's there because you're eating too much sugar, and the candida's taking up that extra stuff. So you get candida overgrowth when you're eating way too much sugar. So the way you reduce candida is just stop feeding it. And the same with other parasites. Is if you get other parasites, the theory is that they're taking up some sort of slack. So they're eating whatever you're having too much of. So you're having too much pork, you might end up with some kind of parasite that
loves the pork,
takes all of the whatever it is in the pork.
And now you just got that pork addiction. You're just straight porking out.
You just got to
scratching
again, detox from the thing that's
ham hocks,
making it grow. Sausages, cocktail sausages.
Cocktail sausages wrapped with bacon. Yo, the man go for the cocktail
hungry
sausages. Fucking hell, boy. That's just going overboard. And then it's got the square, like it's topped with the little cheese square. And then the little ham square.
Fantasizing about
little spam square. Nah, because I always used to look at it like, yo, that.
Oh, you don't have bacon, do you?
Nah, I got man. We did an experiment in school, man. And ever since then, like, yo, nah, yo, that's hilarious, man.
The relationship with addiction and mitochondria is linked as well, because they are involved in creating the dopamine pathway, And that in turn is going to relate to melanin production as well, because they're also related to melanocytes. But if it's just being fed the energy that you're giving it, it's going to just keep demanding that and then giving you the reward of the dopamine hit, which is like an addiction, But you can change it by taking, because basically your mitochondria is treating you like you're its hoe, Where it's like you're like, it's meant to be working for you, but it's flip the switch,
Yeah.
A way to take control of your mitochondria again, like it's getting into exercise, It's one of the reasons I have my regular calisthenics workout, because I know the more you train with exercise, you're reconditioning your mitochondria to desire it, the term they call it like a jogger's high, this type of thing, because you do get an endorphin release through exercise. It's related to the mitochondria, respiratory proteins doing their thing. Reward, So anyway, I was just trying to make it. When people are dealing with addiction, and you go cold turkey, and they don't have anything to replace that addiction with, calisthenics working out is a really good option, because it's going to give you a reward, a high, and it will also give you a much better self-impression as well, which is only going to lead to good things in your life, because you're making an effort, and you don't have to do the most, Some people can only manage like 5 push-ups, so round of applause for the people who do them.
Yeah, it's true, man. Whatever you can do, man, it makes sense. And
whatever you're doing, like applying the stress, you're going to get a reward for it. It might just be 1, 2, or 60 push-ups. I really recommend that. It's going to, when we're talking about the piezoelectric effect on the crystals and the body, growth and repair, and the self-defense and immunity and everything, it all boils down to natural light and the movement of the body.
Yeah, it's deep, because they say like if you want to strengthen the bones, you do heavier weights. So in that sense,
well, I don't promote weight lifting. I promote calisthenics, which is body weight exercises. The main reason I do that is because if you imagine you have like massive speakers, but you've got like a tiny amp. Because when you're doing weightlifting, you're doing exponential growth on your cells, on your muscle cells. But a lot of them, they're not going to have any mitochondrial content, and it doesn't have a coupled growth to the fascia or the tendons. You know, so if your tendons can't carry that muscle, it's just show business, isn't it?
That's more bodybuilding, though. That's not really weightlifting. That's more. Do you know what I mean? That's more just like body sculpting rather than weightlifting or powerlifting or anything.
Yeah, I know, but still, the pressure that you're doing with the super heavy weight, it's triggering a pathway called the mTOR pathway, which creates cell division fast. So that's creating like a muscle tissue growth.
Yeah.
But it could also get out of hand and become cancerous because it doesn't have any mitochondria inside. It's like empty cells, and it's also going to disappear quicker. Like if you're just doing body weight exercise and you're growing your muscle tissue at the same rate that you're growing tendons, your flexibility will be coupled, you know, and that muscle will last with you indefinitely.
Yeah.
You know, especially maintain it. But if you're doing weights and you're building the muscle, like for example, I've got one friend who went crazy on the workout and his muscle came off the bone.
Yeah, that's why you should only really be doing compound. You should only really be doing powerlifting, which is just compound moves where you're just, you know, you're exercising your whole body at once, rather than you shouldn't be isolating muscles really. That's the
I'm not saying like avoid it entirely. It's got its benefits. Like
no, yeah, but you should. I agree. You shouldn't be isolating muscles, and I think calisthenics bodies are very fit. I'm not, you know, I'd never go against I think calisthenics people are really fit. Their whole body works well. But I've also seen powerlifters that have got, you know, good working bodies as well.
Yeah, but they probably do calisthenics as well.
It wouldn't surprise me if they do some sort of stuff to keep them flexible. Yeah, because it is important to be flexible.
Yeah, flexibility is really important, man. Definitely, man.
Yeah,
I think it's
but the old bodybuilding and, you know, just like going in the gym and lifting weights like a nutter, all that stuff's not really good for you. Because people end up building up one part of their body.
Yeah.
And then you just end up with it. Yeah, and it's not good for you. It's not good to just have. It's not good to have one strong arm.
You know, they can't scratch their back, man. And they always, when they walk around, they either like their hands are just hanging like from the meat on the side, yeah, or they got their hands in their pockets, like, but they're not all the way in the pockets because they can't reach down all the way.
Their thumbs are twisted inwards.
Do that. Like,
yeah. What book's that? Sorry.
This is by a guy called Hit Richards from the Calisthenic Kings in New York.
Yeah.
They were one of the first people to do bar jams.
I've
make the whole
barbarians and all that.
Yeah, you know, they were the pioneers of that stuff. And this is one of his course books, because I got myself certified in calisthenics in 2020.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was part of a nutrition course that I was doing because we weren't able to move on to the next module until we had a basic understanding of anatomy and kinesiology. You know, because it's one thing looking at cells all the time, but you need to have a basic understanding of the muscle groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is really good, like, because it breaks down the history of exercise right back to like the original Spartans and gladiators and things. I mean, they're all just doing calisthenics, making themselves the strongest.
Yeah.
But it also breaks down the muscle groups and which exercises work what. You know, so it's handy little bit of information.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
Yeah, just basic stuff is worth learning, because all these little keys, they all come together later on, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get these gems, like they're all separate, they're all apart, but then, you know, piecing it together, you realize how on a holistic level, like, it works. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything works
holistic
together.
Is the key word. You know, holistic's meant to encompass the whole.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't really get a holistic herbalist that just deals with herbs. It wouldn't make sense. Like, herbs ain't gonna do nothing if you don't move, or if you stay indoors all day in artificial light. The herbs ain't really gonna help you too much. You know?
Yeah, there's more
you
to
might
it.
Have a bowel movement or something, but it's not gonna. You know. And you don't even really need to go looking for no type of holistic guru to help yourself. Really. You just need to live more of a natural life and start getting poisoned by this artificial world. And it's getting worse. They're trying to put us into the freaking metaverse now, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's going to be dismal. That's going to be like the worst. I can just imagine, like, you know, you with the headset or whatever, living in a palace, but you're actually in some freaking scene out of Trainspotting.
You're in a
you know what I mean?
you're in a pod.
In the real world.
Yeah, you're just living in a pod with a virtual
with an AI sex doll that can cuddle you. You're great.
Basically,
that might sound great to some people, but it's not really what I want.
Some people, oh, what's wrong with that? Man,
I saw the thing that had got the gloves and all that stuff, the sensors, like so you can pick things up and you feel it.
Yeah.
Like, that was in the ad. Obviously, that's going to be used for sex, isn't it? Like, like sex.
Obviously.
Instead of sexing, it's gonna be,
obviously, that's all it's going to be used for.
You know. But I was trying to. I just wanted to explain it, like, just so people get a grip.
Yeah.
To begin with, that can never ever be sex. That's only masturbation. You should never get it twisted.
But I don't think people care.
Somewhere else, in a room somewhere, and then they touch you.
Yeah.
Not sex.
No, of course not. No.
People are resting.
A sex robot is not going to be sex. It's going to just be masturbation into a metal tube.
Later, they'll probably push it to that level, innit? Where they're like, two people, you know, so a woman could be like over in, you know, Newcastle or wherever. And then there's a dude like in Dover, and they both got their like virtual, you know, tools that
might be another bloke be another bloke pretending to be a woman. You won't even know. You're just never gonna know.
Yeah, you won't know what it is, man, or who it is. Yeah, what? Did I say what? I can say what, innit? No.
What? It could be a what? It could be a what? You never know. Yeah, you're right.
Hydra.
Yo, well, boy. Yeah. Anyway, we'll find out one day. Shout out to Collie, man. Yo.
It's right round the corner, mate. It's right round the corner.
Huh? Oh, right round the
corner.
Right
round the corner. Metaverse. Like we'll be there. We're thinking like, God, 2020. When was that? It's flown by.
Man, this whole metaverse thing, man. I don't know about this metaverse business, man. They're talking about you need all this equipment to even get involved. You know, like, how big do you reckon it's gonna get? Do you think it really is a takeover? Like they're gonna make this a thing, or are they trying?
I think a lot of people are gonna go for it. A lot of people won't, but a lot of people are gonna find a new home and family there. You know, they've already done a great job in isolating people and making us
true
antisocial. You know,
and there's another thing about people really like to be ahead of the time. They like to be like, I've got the first. Rare, or oh, you're not in the metaverse. Oh man, you're missing out, man. The metaverse. It's like I spent all this money on this shit, so I better make sure it's worthwhile. You know, that's gonna happen and influence other people. So I guess so.
Yeah, that's all the metaverse is going to be anyway. It's just going to eventually just be virtual sex.
Yeah,
the metaverse. So everything just reverts to that in the end.
I remember, did I show you last time? The
Crazy,
website,
man. Crazy.
Luxbotics.
What one?
It's called Luxbotics.
No, what was that? Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, you need to look it up. It's spelled Luxbotics.
Luxbotics.
Yeah, it might be with an X. Luxbotics. Yeah, so it's like robotics, but the Lux gene.
Oh, botics. Yeah, Luxbotics.
Yeah,
Luxbotics. Yeah.
Luxbotics.
Can you look that up?
Yeah, new female. Let me get it up. Hold on.
Botics.
Yeah, look at it. I just want you to see what's already available.
What's already available.
Botics.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just pull this up. Yeah.
Wow. What the hell's going on there, man?
That's commercial. You're looking at commercial produce. So imagine what nodes.
What that's available now. If man wanted to like cop a couple of them and shot them.
If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see the price. $5,400 for Stephanie.
$5,400 for Stephanie.
Hold on, let me just.
Lux.
You can get a body double. You know, I don't know what the price is on that, but you can get. You can duplicate yourself.
You
Like
serious?
have a cyborg version.
Wow.
It looks super realistic. I mean, you could put it on the TV and read the news, and you won't know the difference. Wink, wink.
What? So wait.
Yeah.
Let's just see if this is. Yeah, but I mean, are they? Do they look real though? Are they?
Scroll down.
Okay.
They're using the Voldy one there.
What do you want a robot to do for you?
Like, see that even that picture
Domestic
there, number
robots.
2.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
What, the old lady robot?
Oh,
What?
the one
She's
that's
a
not the old
robot.
lady. That's a robot.
What?
Wow.
Number 1, that's a
fuck,
robot.
man?
And number 3 with the children, that's a robot.
Where's the sex
What?
dolls?
Is
That's
this for
all
real? This
that's
is
all
like-
anyone wants to know about. Where's the sex dolls? They've only got service.
Wait. Hold on a minute.
I suppose service.
Business applications. Star avatar robot new. What? Nanny robot for child.
They're selling them all as
Private
companions.
applications.
Right, yeah, that's where it starts, isn't it? It's just as a companion type thing for old people.
What the fuck?
No, that's just marketing.
Education.
You know what the first thing is. First thing is sex. Always has been.
Yeah, right.
But the marketing is more innocent.
Yo. Scroll down
It's
a
not
bit deep.
compatible. If you look down the education and health, they even have pandemic
Education and
assistance. I
health.
thought that was a bit concerning.
Pandemic assistant.
Yeah.
Where's
Yo. What? Should we sign up?
Go. You go all the way down, you see the advert for Stephanie. There you go.
Later. Right at the bottom. What is she like? She's going cheap or something? 400 USD. Or what? You just rent her?
That's just your basic model. It doesn't say it's a sex doll. Right? It says that it's a companion and a receptionist and all sorts, whatever you want it to be.
what? It says, what would you want a robot to do for
Yo,
you?
is this for real, man? Yeah, but they do. Where's the?
They don't need arms or legs for a start.
They have. Do that? There's no video there where you can see these robots at work. Where
Is it?
not like that kind of work.
Oh, there you go. Pre-order. So yeah, you're right. The pre-order, the first one is that. Yeah. Genitalia option. No genitalia. Genitalia non-functional. Oh my god! How cruel would you have to be to buy a robot with genitalia that don't work?
Non-functional, you know.
How's it going to work anyway?
I suppose you put stuff in it,
What is that?
you put water in it, and then it goes to the toilet at some point.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Well, they got little
This is nuts.
toys.
This is nuts. Luxbotics.
Genitalia functional, and then trans or other genitalia. So what would that mean? Apart from genitalia, what is trans genitalia? So you'd
I
want,
don't know what that would mean
No.
regarding a robot.
maybe you'd want both in there. Maybe you just want both genitalia.
That's sad, isn't it? Like this is the world's.
This is what it's come to.
I mean,
This is what it's come to, Mice. We're picking what genitals we want on our robot.
yo, I
Have you seen
can't believe this
there's
shit,
a movie
man.
called Her, a really corny ass
Right, yeah.
romance movie called Her. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Yo.
I know about it. He falls in love with his
AI.
AI, yeah.
What,
His AI falls in
what's it
love
called?
with him. Her.
Her.
Yeah.
It's
is
a,
it-
it's a dead movie, you know, but
Yeah.
just the concept alone is ties into this because it's
This is mad.
Yeah.
like people becoming more and more isolated,
Yeah.
looking like for companionship and finding it from like an AI
Oh.
because it starts to relate to you and
Yeah.
actually
Look
how
at
you
her
are and
face,
shows
man.
you affection. Like
Yeah.
the algorithms are so clever now. It can actually seem genuine and
Bruv.
sincerely concerned. To you.
Look
Yeah.
Look at her face.
So imagine having a
though.
sex doll.
Look
that's
at
like
the doll's
asking you,
face.
like, oh, you
Are you okay? Yeah. Have you had a hard day?
Yo, she looked like she's about to fuck you up, man. Look how long she's been standing there, and she's just staring at you like that. Imagine you walked in, like, hey, Stephanie. She looked at you. She just
Where the fuck
like
have you
that. She's got a knife in her hand. Right, you been cooking? Yeah. Like, look, and she's, bruv. They did that on purpose, boy. They made sure that, yo, we're going to let these lot know that, you get Stephanie. You done fucked up.
That's the
5G's
stuff I
on
think
its
of
way.
anyway when I
Bye,
look at the
Stephanie.
metaverse. I just think it's going to be. They want people isolated, isn't it?
Yeah.
No real companionship. Make everything avatar based.
Do you think like they want to it's almost like they want to get people used to that virtual world, and then comes like Stephanie comes along, and then it's like, oh, it's kind of like being in the virtual world, but it's real. You know what I mean?
Have
Years later, that'll be the
Well,
evolution. Like, yeah, it's
Have you
you
seen?
know they're going to
it's
move
safe.
more into argumentation. Argumentation is creating this virtual space in our real space. So you're
Yeah.
not really going to be able to tell what's what.
Yeah.
Because the graphics that we're going to see on road
Are going to be so
is going to
convincing.
Yeah.
But
that's going to get confusing.
it says in here body motion, and you can say maximum body articulation, medium body articulation, minimal body articulation, no articulation, posable dull with stiff posable joints. Why would you want
Wow.
someone who is got stiff joints? They just moan all the time about how their joints are stiff.
You got arthritis right
Not
there.
sure, help me. That's the last option. Not sure,
Not
help
sure.
me.
Help me. Okay.
I don't know what joints I want. What do you mean?
I just don't want to standing there in the kitchen looking like that, boy, just staring at me like, right, where have you been?
When you get
you
in.
imagine a future where they use people who are so
Look
trapped in the
this, boy.
metaverse, yeah, that they start to actually control augmented technology on roads that is used to track down people that are not in the metaverse.
Yeah.
What? So, like, wait.
I say we've got nothing to do with the metaverse, yeah, but in the metaverse there's like a map of London, yeah, and they have an avatar that is represented by like a real piece of technology or a drone or something out on road, and they control it and they look at us like just
Shit.
like a pretend thing in the metaverse.
Yeah. Like your avatar in the metaverse, basically.
That's
Yeah,
what the
you
know.
Repo Men with
That's an
Bruce
idea for a
Willis.
movie at least, but
Wow.
Yeah, I think there was one Repo Men that had I think
really?
I think it's maybe Bruce
It's
Willis or
programming,
someone.
man.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Is they're like everyone goes out, they lie in their beds at home, but they just send out like a robot who's them, and that does all. You know, it looks like them and acts like them. Which one?
Is it worth watching?
Is it worth watching?
Yeah, I'm looking for a movie to watch.
I mean, just for the concept, you know, it's one of them films where you're like, oh yeah, that's a good concept in 10 minutes, and then the
That's
rest of
all
the
I'm
film.
really interested in. The concept will keep my mind occupied for weeks.
Yeah,
You know, like the ending's like, yeah, fucking hell.
I think Riz is in it.
Oh, is it?
I think RZA might be in it as well. Yeah, so you could watch it just for the RZA appearance.
So, you know,
Speaking of predictive programming,
they want to lead us to no, I was gonna say they want to lead us to that then, where we're all in the metaverse. That's an easier way to track us, right? If everyone's involved in the metaverse in some way. So
everything digital, you can control everything on like.
Because now they just look at the metaverse
Even
screen.
the stuff that they're the way they're injecting people now, that's going to change, you know, because they have these patches in it. They got patches.
Yeah, what the gels?
Huh?
What the gels? Those gel
whatever
patches.
they want to administer, you know, whatever it is that they're cooking up, you know, have full control of things. But anyway, I was going on a tangent. I was about to say about the predictive programming in these movies, you know, because when we take something inside our I'll just say inside our plasma, inside our life, and then we project it out, and it can become real, you know, like the power of thought and collective thought can manifest reality. So maybe we should do some more predictive programming of our own.
Yeah.
We predict more of a joyous world, you know?
Yeah.
I've got something I'm working on right now, my next project, yeah? I'm calling it positive interference. In physics, positive interference is when two waves come together and create a higher frequency, you know? If there's a medium, like the pool of water that is the eye, positive interference can come in and create structure, constructive structure, growth. And it's the opposite to discordance, which would be like negative interference. It causes just fogginess and ill feeling, you know. But anyway, I'll just explain the name, what I mean by the name. But in practice, I wanted to have a positive impact because I really feel everything that I'm learning about healing relates back to thoughts and the self impression of the self and mood and a lot of these things, you know. And I know that the terrorists that run the world are keeping us in a state of fear. Or at least they're doing their best to instigate fear.
Definitely, man.
You know,
We were talking about
fear
that.
and anger and division and everything else. You know, so the only way to really combat that is to laugh in its face.
Yeah.
With some positive interference, you know, and to spread joy, you know, which is something that I feel that we've always been doing, and what has led us to hip hop music and culture to begin with, you know, as a catharsis and a creative release. It's been bringing us together and, you know, expressing ourselves, doing whatever it is, you know. Like I've got a lot out of hip hop that's built me in a positive way. You know? But it's not just about hip hop. Positive interference can come in all sorts of forms. You know, what I want to do with it is ideally have events, designs, you know, radio shows like this. You know, just lots of happenings. But the overall concept would be to leave the person who's engaging with it in a more enlightened, empowered, joyous state. You know, gone through so many different kinds of means, like music, art, and comedy. I think are big factors, you know, and also being able to simplify information so that people feel more empowered about, like, you know, just stuff that is kind of like making you feel uneasy in the world.
Yeah. Definitely.
Fundamentally, it's about the joy, you know, because the more we can spread joy, I don't mean in an ignorant sense, like turn a blind eye to all the badness. You know, we deal with the badness, but in an empowering way, in an enlightening way, and relieve people's anxieties about it. You know?
Yeah, it's important.
I think like, it's so difficult to make such a positive impact or change against these wicked families, these bloodlines that have been fucking with us, you know? And I know that the way they trap people is really through the fear. And the only way you can really break down the fear is to lead them more into the joy. You know, I experiment on myself, like all through lockdown and everything. Like I've been doing things to increase my personal mood. You know, which include checking out some comedy every day, listening to music that made me feel emotionally good, like from the past. Taking my time to do a little 20 to 40 push-ups, having a little scratch, going for a walk, you know, trying to keep in touch with people that I know have keep me in good favor. You know, all these are like little tricks I'm doing just to keep myself healthy and happy. You know, because I know the same way that I'm sure you're aware, I address what's going on with Babylon. You know. But I know at the same time that when I do, and I'm sharing stuff about it, I'm taxing my happiness.
Yeah. Because there's it's like the attention.
So I need to balance it out. I need to balance all that out by making sure every day I'm feeding myself something nutritious in regards to joy. Otherwise, I'm gonna fall into the trap where they want us. You know, because there's people who are scared of, you know, germs, and then there's people who are scared of a new world order, and I ain't scared of nothing. You know, and I maintain that fearlessness by keeping myself in a steady diet of things that feed me joy. You know. In fact, laughter is a very, very good breath work. I don't know if have you ever tried laughing without laughing?
Yeah, I actually did laughing. I went to like a, what do you call it? Laughing therapy session.
Right.
Yeah, and it works, man. I definitely get it. I understand it, man. Even just like when you're in a bad mood, you just like put a smile on. Try and smile for about like 10, 15 minutes and you'll find your mood will change.
Yeah, the smile alone is releasing endorphins. You know?
Yeah. It triggers that. Yeah, it triggers that. So all these things are really helpful, man. And yeah, that was a Mice Investigates colleague. Yeah. So I got evidence there. You know what I mean? That was like that's beyond just anecdotal, isn't it? That's not anecdotal because it's a documentary. So that's actually documented evidence.
Proved laughter works.
I proved it. You know what I mean? Like, man, man should be like.
In Ireland, I was paying attention to at the beginning of the lockdown. I was paying a lot of attention to what
or something like
we were being told in regards to the threat was, and I was also paying a lot of attention on how to combat that, So I was looking at all of the traditional Chinese medicine and every note being used over there. And one thing I noticed in Ireland is that they were using a synthesized interferon alpha, which is, part of your immune defense. But the Cubans, some doctors in Cuba were synthesizing this interferon alpha, and they were using it as a therapy for the amenable, right? But what I found really interesting about that was that we produce interferon alpha ourselves in our gut when we laugh.
Oh wow! When we laugh, serious. That's interesting, man.
Produce it to support the health of our defense.
This must be why it feels so good.
More comedians and doctors in this world, Like if we had comedians on every street corner.
Yeah, innit? For real,
It also stop a lot of the badness that happen with society in general, because when mood is fixed up to where people feel calm and happy about themselves and the people that they live with, you find yourselves having a lot less animosity and crime.
Yeah.
So the idea that I'm having with positive interference, even though I'm going to start small step by step, I really wanted to have a serious positive interference on the crystal ladder structure of each individual and the living organism of the planet. You may as well think big, innit?
Jeez, Snuff came with it again, boy. Bruv, appreciate you coming through, man. Telling you.
You got anything to promote, Snuff? Any shows coming up?
I'm doing a little break for the border, and I'm managing to do it without any papers. I'm getting myself over to Geneva for a gig on December the 3rd.
Under a lorry, gonna smuggle yourself in.
Yeah, man. I'm traveling on light. I'm working with. There's an artist that I work with, and I've worked with for a very long time. I'm from West Belfast. This one's from the West Bank of Palestine. This is Shadia Mansour. She's an Arabic rapper, and she's known as the first lady of Arabic hip hop. And in the Arabic-speaking world, she's one of the sort of most known rap artists. And she's also. We do a lot of shows that are related to issues revolving around Palestine, because she represents Palestine. She's also a female rapper from Palestine, which kind of breaks the stereotype.
Yeah.
Doesn't break the reality, but it breaks the international stereotype about women in Palestine. So it's good that she's an ambassador to be able to let people know that.
Yeah.
Well, and you're doing that soon, yeah.
We exist. In fact, we're part of an organization called Existence is Resistance, and we made 2 documentaries about the occupation of Palestine. One is called Hip Hop is Bigger Than the Occupation. You'll find that on YouTube. It was a trip that we did with Low Key, M1 from Dead Prez, Julie McIntyre, a few other people.
Oh, yeah.
Last one is called Black in the Holy Land, which is dealing with the racism of the illegal state of Israel, especially with its treatment to African immigrants. We went and interviewed people at the Howard Detention Center, which is based in the Negev Desert, just on the border of Egypt. And quite an interesting insight. We never hear about the Palestine-Israel situation from the perspective of how Africa gets treated by Israel. A whole other thing. But anyway, I'm going to be in Geneva on the 3rd of December with Shadia Mansour.
So you're both meeting in the middle, basically. Is that what the Geneva thing is? Is she coming from Palestine?
It's her own mini convention.
Here right now, anyway.
Oh right, okay.
We do shows in England. We're probably going to have a show in London at some point early next year. We're going to be at the O'Mara in London Bridge, a really nice venue tomorrow. We'll be there with a full band, you know.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, sounds
The
good.
day before that, before I go though, I got a show with Amy True and Logic and a bunch of the People's Army new recruits.
Yeah.
Cool.
A few old recruits like Kasha and Nick. But it's mainly going to be Amy and Logic doing the show each. That's the Fox and Firkin in Lewisham on December the 2nd. And then December the 7th, it's a Tuesday, we'll be back at Brixton Jam. I know I saw MysDiggi there at the Phoenix show, which was dope.
Yeah, man.
It was really dope. Night, I had the honor and privilege to DJ that night for everybody, except for Phoenix, because he had his boy Husky, who's a dope ass producer, drop the beats for him. But I had a great time DJing for Hanson, Bad Bones, and Kashmir. And
you held down the whole night, apparently.
And Prospects.
You held the whole night down, apparently, yeah? Just on your own.
Yeah. I had a great time though, man. I was in the element, you know. Like that's where we used to host Speaker's Corner, so it's like a flashback for me.
Yeah.
For Phoenix as well was cool because I was thinking, what am I going to play at the start? And he says drop some Triple Darkness, and that just set me off. I'm like, all right, I'm digging into that vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the 7th, it's a Tuesday, we're back at Brixton Jam, 7th of December. It's another People's Army night. It's going to be Logic and Mike Righteous headlining it. And we're bringing through some new artists that we may not be too much aware of, but they're dope, like King's Castle and Aaron Unknown. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people on the lineup now. But that's been organised by a plant-based market pop-up thing. You know, they do Portobello vegan nights. They do vegan east. Basically just like a plant-based market food pop-ups that they do, you know. So now they're doing the combination of working with us. So we're doing food and music together. So we're doing this one at Brixton Jam on the 7th. And then the same week, 2 days later, Thursday, I'm going to be with MysDiggi at the Chip Shop.
Yeah, we'll be at the Chip Shop, baby.
Lab 79, 1 year anniversary since they started the label, since Manage
that fly out there.
Started producing a lot of bangers.
Yeah, man, Manage has been going in, man, with the production, the videos. Lab 79 definitely putting in a lot of work. It's been Skirmish. Yeah, well, there you see the lineup there. Manage, MC Killer, Skirmish, Rain, Apex Zero, Conflicts, Jack Diggs, Menace Mendoza. They've all been dropping some bangers on Lab 79, and you're going to get to see them live right there at the Chip Shop, Brixton, on the 9th of December. Doors open at 8 p.m. DJs, Jazz T, Snuff, and myself hosting MysDiggi at the Chip Shop. And it's free entry for you, mother lovers. You lot are lucky out there, man. If you lot can make it come through, man. Yo, Snuff, we got to be out, man. It's about that time.
Oh, yeah, I got to say later, yeah.
Sorry, say that again?
Good.
I
was just saying it's going to be a really good one because I always associate like the sound that everyone appreciated from Claxton Press.
Yeah.
And the sound that everyone appreciated from Chain of Command.
Yeah.
I give the credit to Manage. Jeez. You know, because Manage is like the executive producer or the producer. Like, and me and him kind of were always together on that boom bap hardcore flavor, you know. But the other people who come into the groups all had their own flavors. But I think Manage dominated it with the sound and helped bring those sounds.
Got a vision,
the sound you're going to hear from Lab 79 is the sound that you're going to be familiar with, like through Manage's lineage, you know.
Yeah.
And that's really dope as well because you can see the artist lineup is almost like there's a connection with Paxton Press, Rhyme Asylum, and Chain of Command in there, you know.
For real, yeah.
Rooted in the same thing, you know. So I'm looking forward to that's just going to be some straight bars all night.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know what I mean?
You got conflicts and people like that there. It's like, yo, it's going to be fire, man. So, yeah, if you can get down
Go
there.
to the Bandcamp as well and download the music, because I swear some of those releases are even being put out for free. I'm sure like Conflicts isn't even asking money for his EP. It's dope.
Wow. That's crazy, man. Yo, thanks for coming through, brother. Appreciate you, man. Dropping knowledge as always, man. Yo, definitely got to do it again, man, at some point, man. It's it's enlightening, like chatting.
It's like a waffle for me because I'm just freestyling. But if you came with like a
we will get. You know what? All right. Next time we'll get into something deep like that. You obviously been looking into, and then because there's so many different levels, like you were saying.
Like one particular subject, I'll get all the information I can about it and share. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And of course,
we're just spoken off the cuff.
Nah, man, it's all good, brother, man.
Yeah.
All our listeners out there, man, we appreciate you, mother lovers, even the silent ones. Shout out to your ma, Kenny Rebel, Regantology. Shout out to who else was there? All the names disappeared. Hold on. Yeah, Lawrence Limburger. I love that name, man. Lawrence Limburger, bro. PLK. Yo, all you mother lovers that were locked in today, man, we appreciate you. The Detective UK. Who else is there? Oshioka Milo. Yep. Shout out to D Strakes. Swift. All you mother lovers out there, we appreciate each and every one of you. What was I going to say? Yeah, we'll be back next week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We're going to be all right next week. Yo, Black Einstein, that's the other mother lover I wanted to shout out. You know who you've been locked into. We want to shout out our brother DJ Snuff for giving us a bit more of, you know what I mean? It's just interesting hearing about different things people have been learning. And then now it makes you want to go, all right, let me look into that as well and learn yourself. So, yeah, I love that shit, man. I really appreciate you coming through and spreading some love, man. Always dropping some knowledge right there. You know what I mean? This has been the podcast where you learn some shit you might not never know nothing about. His name is Dan DNA. My name is MysDiggi. And we're out, mother lovers.